I have a lot of friends who are sober, a lot of friends who are straight edge, a lot of my friends who are going through it. I know struggling with substance abuse and alcoholism can be really, really hard, especially knowing who to turn to. It can be really, really daunting. I'm here to say that a good friend of mine and his friend started this incredible treatment center called Refine Recovery. They gave me a phone number, 855-516-3332. You can text, you can call them. It's totally confidential. It's safe. There'll be somebody on the other line to help you out, a compassionate human being to talk to help you navigate the process, the insurance treatments. They accept most of private insurances. You can go refinerecovery.com, Refine Recovery Instagram. I know it's hard, but reach out to somebody, man. People care about you. People love you. People want you to be here for a long time. People love you in their lives. If you're going through it, make this phone call. It's totally private. I know people DM me all the time about going through it and going through sobriety and trying to get straight and trying to take care of themselves. And the struggle is totally real. And Refine Recovery is the definitely move. Reach out to them, 855-516-3332, or text them, 855-516-3332. You can call or text this number anytime, 855-516-3332. You know the drill. This number is here for you to call. As we get older, we start paying attention to what we put in our bodies. I personally have been listening to my body since I was 18 when I went vegan. I've always been focused on my health. It's super important, mental and physical health. But it's really important for people who are just starting to get more healthy and trying to step up their life. Doing your homework, reading the labels, researching and verifying everything that's quality. It's part of the game these days. That's why I started drinking AG1s. I'm so proud to have them sponsor my podcast. AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that delivers daily nutrients and gut support and is backed by multiple research studies. You can trust what you're putting into your body. We're all so busy these days, so just throw a pack of AG1 in the morning into a cup of water and shake it up and drink it. I love the way it tastes. I do it every single morning. It's part of my routine. I bring the packets on tour. It's an incredible life changer for me. Many supplements only reference research from ingredients in their product, but I trust AG1 in my daily routine because it's constantly putting the formula to the test. It's backed by multiple research studies, and one of those research studies, AG1 was shown to have double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is super important because these help digestion in the immune system and the immune health. And these bacteria are known to help with digestion as well, gas and bloating, which I freaking need. And it also promotes regular bowel movements, what I can attest to. In another research study, 97% participants felt more energy after 30 days, and 91% of the participants noticed that they needed less coffee after 60 days. I quit coffee like 5 months ago. I know I'm good on that. But AG1 is packed with a variety of nutrient-dense ingredients and is the perfect complement to my healthy diet. I drink it because I know it's going to work, and it gives me a peace of mind covering all my nutrition bases for the day. In fact, I trust it so much, that's why I'm spreading the word about it. That's why it sponsors my podcast. Thanks to Angie Huberman for turning me on to AG1s, connecting me with them, and now they're part of my podcast. It's so easy and satisfying to start your day with AG1s. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of the vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your purchase at drinkag1.com/OLLC. That's drinkag1.com/OLLC. It's never been a better time to focus on your health and wellness and get back on track, man. Take control of your daily health. Health is wealth. Got to give a big shout out to Liquid Death. I've been in a band called H2O for 30 years, and my first real job with a company is a water brand. Go figure. Love you, Liquid Death. Love the people. Love the brand. Love the concept. Love what they give back. Love the community. Love what they do for the environment. You can go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on any of their merchandise that they make. They have such incredible collabs. Also, if you want to hear the story of the CEO, my good friend Mike Cesario, on the podcast, you can go to episode 115, part 1. And then 2 years later, we dropped a part 2, which is episode 275 with the CEO, Mike Cesario. Just a man from Delaware with a dream, worked at a marketing company, and made this become a reality. Liquid Death is an incredible company, incredible water, incredible people. And I'm super, super honored to be part of them. They sponsor my life. They sponsor everything, my family. So go liquiddeath.com/OLLC and get free shipping on anything you want to buy on that site. If you want to get water, it's exclusively on Amazon.com. Murder your thirst, y'all. Okay, welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. Today I have a very, very special guest. Meeting kind of for the first time. We met briefly at this place called Green Table. But welcome to the podcast, Diamante Murru. I'm going to say it again. Diamante Murru. You say it.
It was good.
You say it.
Murru.
Diamante Murru. I'll edit this part. Murru. That's an amazing name, though. Murru. Thank you for being here. We met at Green Table briefly. I think Lev was telling me about you. And then, I looked you up. I was like, oh, shit, vegan tattoo artist, yogi, everything, dude. All the stuff you do is so cool for the environment, for the planet. We have mutual friends that work at the shop. So thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing today?
Good.
It's a crazy day in the world today.
Yeah.
Do you love California? Do you love living in America?
I do like it. I mean, definitely I got a little upset today being an immigrant and a woman. But,
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah. How long have you been in California for now?
End of 2021.
Okay.
I got my visa and I spent the first 3 years bouncing in between LA, Berlin, because I was living there, and Bali. And then I left for a little while last year and I came back a year ago.
Yeah. What were you doing in Bali? I've never been there. I heard it's amazing.
I was doing some productions for my fashion brand. I have a fashion line.
Oh, yeah, I know. You have it in there. We're going to get to that. So you do production out there?
Yes, I was doing
cool.
it there. I've been producing mostly in Berlin, and then I try to do a production with some local artisans because I like to produce local. So then I was in Bali. I needed to detox a little bit from LA and also from Berlin. So I decided to escape to Bali, chill and relax a little bit, do just a few tattoos and working on the fashion.
Is it relaxing there? It's nice there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Doing a lot of sauna and ice baths.
Nice. Yeah, we're just talking about Berlin, how amazing Berlin is for like the vegan world and traveling and being out there. It's incredible. It's like the Mecca in Germany, I think, for veganism for sure.
Yeah, I do cook a lot, for example, but in Berlin, it's pretty easy to just want to eat out. The food is like so good, like the vegan food is like so good, so cheap. So you would always want to go to eat out.
Yeah, everything tastes better in Europe too. Like it's not over processed like it is in America.
Yeah,
there's so much food. I could probably eat, even though I'm don't eat gluten, I could probably eat some bread over there because it is so healthy. I think I don't know. It's crazy.
You know what's the difference I found? That when you have some food in Europe, you can store it for only a few days in the fridge, whatever, even if it's like something confectioned, And here it lasts forever. Like you can have bread in the fridge for like a week. In Italy, for example, like you had to throw it away after 2 days.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's all because of all the conservants, and the main ingredients.
It's crazy. There's so much shit in our food. It's so crazy. There's so many foods that are like banned in Europe, but we have them still in America. Like all the dyes and all the different chemicals and some of the stuff.
Everything is very different. I also heard the composition of some, for example, like soda, for example.
Yes.
Like when you get it in Europe, like the amount of like some ingredients inside is very different.
Like a Coca-Cola or something?
Yeah, I don't drink that stuff, but I heard that it's very different. It's kind of like some, like the what's allowed is very, very different in quantity.
There's something about a Coca-Cola in a bottle in Europe, though, that was always kind of like my cheat thing. Like if I was on tour, I have like a ice Coke in a bottle. I don't know. It's just different over there. I don't know what it is. I never drink that stuff either, but I don't know.
That tastes different?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man. Everything's different in Europe. I don't know. So you're in Bali, you're in Berlin. But before that, you were living in Germany?
Yeah, in Berlin.
Oh, yeah, duh. Same thing. So what made you come to California? What made you come to the States?
So, I mean, I'm from Italy, Sardinia, and when I started tattooing, I was 23. I also started to travel a lot because my dream was traveling the world, doing what I love. So, and also like having like put all my effort in a craft that I can bring around wherever I want,
Yeah.
So, I was traveling, and mostly I was traveling in Asia, like, Thailand, Myanmar, Indonesia.
Damn.
And when I decided I had a lot of work in Berlin because for especially the style I do, like big ornamental and black work, there's so much work.
It's a lot.
So I felt like it was a good opportunity to develop my career. But I'm not good with the cold and with the winter. So
Me either.
So I did a few years in which I was spending in Berlin, mostly spring and summer, and then I will escape there in the winter and I will spend all my winters in Asia.
Nice.
Then COVID hit. And I stayed stuck in Berlin for 2 winters. I did the best out of my time. I built a studio. I created my fashion line, my biodegradable tattoo supply. But I was suffering the winter a lot. So then I had the idea and the possibility to work on my visa to come here.
Yeah.
Because I thought I had already a lot of clients coming to Berlin from the States, and I did already like a few trips to California. So then I was like, right, I need to think of a place in which I can be there, be happy with the weather, and eventually I can work if COVID hit again for the first time.
Yeah.
So then I got my visa right away in 2021.
It's awesome.
And I moved here. In the beginning, I thought I'm going to stay maximum like 1-2 months, check if I like it. And I ended up staying for 2 years.
Had you been here before at all?
Yes, 2 times.
Okay.
But mostly like it was a little trip to LA, and I went mostly to Oakland.
Oakland, okay. That's so different.
Yeah, it's very different. But a friend of mine had a super cool tattoo shops.
Okay.
So then I was going to work there.
Wow. Oh my God. And so the winters in Berlin, they're pretty gnarly too, right?
Oh man, it's tough. It's so gray. Sometimes you wouldn't see the sun for like 3 months in a row.
It's so depressing. Oh my God. And the sun goes down early and stuff. Yeah, dude.
Like in winter, like 3 p.m.
Wow.
So, being...
But the food was good.
The food was good.
So the pandemic, they were pretty on lockdown. Was it pretty locked down during the pandemic there?
Yeah, so Berlin was very easy compared to the rest of Europe.
Okay.
Like my sister, for example, was in Italy. They couldn't even go to the grocery store, they had needed special permissions.
They were being policed to go outside and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. They could not move. They needed permission. They were allowed to go out of their apartment, for example, only if they were walking the dog. So I had some friends of mine and my sister borrowing the neighbor's dog to just go and have a walk around. It was crazy.
Wow, dude.
While Berlin was pretty easy, a bunch of people were going to the park.
Yeah.
There were like illegal raves.
Illegal raves, you said?
Yeah.
Did you go to some raves?
No, I didn't. But I did go to the park, and I was going to the plant shop. I was buying a lot of plants.
That's cool. Wow, man. Such a crazy time.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So you were stuck there. That's crazy for 2 years. Wow.
It was crazy.
So let's talk a little bit about growing up in Italy. Obviously, you have a twin sister. I just found out before that.
I do.
It's crazy that does stuff in circuses. And she's tattooed. She vegan too?
She's vegan too.
Wow, man. That's so crazy. So is that your only sibling?
No, we're 5.
5?
Typical Italian family.
So what do you have?
I have 2 older sisters.
Okay.
Then after a while, my parents had me and my twin. Like we are 12 years apart from the other sister.
Okay.
And then 7 years later, they finally had a boy.
Wow, man. Wow. So it's one boy.
Yeah, just one.
Tight family? Tight family?
We're very close. Like my parents divorced when I was a kid.
Okay.
But we are all in good relationship.
Yeah. And how was it growing up in Italy? Like how was that for you?
I mean, it was fun because...
Was it a small town where you grew up in? I don't know.
It's a big town in Sardinia. It's the capital of Sardinia. But my parents were living in front of the beach. So I like out of the city. So I grew up with pretty much in nature, connected to the animals. That's why I think probably I developed this, sensitivity for the animals.
Yeah.
So it was really out of the city. So it was fun, I grew up without like playing in the street with my sister and like with friends. We will never spend like the summer at home, for example. We were always between the beach or the street in front of like home.
Yeah, out in the streets.
Yeah. So it was kind of like there were no cell phones or like PlayStation or something like that.
I love that.
Yeah, it was pretty
outside.
Like healthy youth.
Yeah, and then how was like school there? How were you in school?
I was pretty chill.
You're a good student?
Yeah, I had fun.
Were you there for the social aspect of it? Or?
No. So I did. I was actually pretty good in school, and I did the art. Like I got my degree at the art school. But before moving to the art school, I was doing like a math, like a scientific school.
Mm-hmm.
And I did 2 years in which I was mostly not studying and having fun. I was playing music. I used to be like a bass player.
What?
So
what kind of music?
Like punk.
No way.
Yeah. So I was mostly having fun and playing, and I didn't really care about school. And then I decided I was painting for my whole life because my mom was a painter. So I used to draw and paint. So I was into music and into visual art, and I was like, why am I at like a math school? So then.
Did you love math though?
No, not at all.
Were you good at it? Obviously.
I was good, but I did not love it. I was at that school just because all my friends were there.
Yeah.
So then my dad, like my parents were very different. So my mom was an artist and my dad is really ordinary. And he didn't want me to go to the art school. And I did it anyway. I changed, like my registration for school that in summer without saying anything to my parents and faking the sign. And then I moved to the art school.
Wow, without telling? That's crazy. Were you a good kid?
A little rebel, but I was
Yeah, it sounds rebellious. Yeah. But you were like, you made it through school though, obviously.
Yeah, I did. Maximum votes, Like,
were your parents strict?
no, not really.
They were cool?
They were cool.
They're open-minded
I
to
mean,
stuff you were doing?
they used to be strict, I think, mostly with my older sisters. And
Okay.
then my twin sister and I were pretty rebel, so they kind of gave up. Also, like, they were going through the divorce and everything, so they were not, like, really present. So I mostly grew up with my grandma.
Okay.
And she was very easy.
Yeah. So let's talk about your punk music. So when did you start playing bass?
I was 13.
13, okay.
Yeah.
And what inspired that?
14 probably, yeah. I remember when I was at school, like a classmate had some older brothers and they were into punk music, and I fell in love. So then I started falling in love with the punk scene. I was like, I want to be a musician. I mean, I promised myself already when I was a little kid, it doesn't matter what it will be in my life, but I will be living doing something creative. I didn't know if it was going to be music, visual art, in terms of, it can be like painting or photography, whatever. So back then I was having fun with music. I was, also reading all the biographies of, like, from punk bands. What
kind of bands you listening to?
I was listening in the beginning, like Clash, Ramones.
Nice. the real good stuff, the classics. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I was like, I was so inspired, and then I wanted to drop school and just live with music.
Were you going to punk? You were going to shows and stuff at an early age?
Sardinia was very nice for that. So my neighbors where I was living, they were like the man, like the dad of the family. He was a musician, like singer of a punk band.
Wow.
And I was, since I was about 12, I used to start hanging out with them, and they kind of like adopted me and my sister.
Okay.
And they were bringing us to all the lives.
Shows.
Yeah.
Wow.
And also there were a few, especially 2 locations in which they were bringing a lot of bands from, all over
States?
Europe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Europe too. Yeah. Wow. Did you see some American punk bands too?
I did. I saw the GBH, Exploited.
What? You're talking real punk shit too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
GBH is sick and Exploited too. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like 15. So I'm pretty grateful.
So you started playing bass, and then did you play in the band that played concerts? You guys played shows?
Yeah, I was playing in some
What was your
bands.
band called?
I don't remember. We were doing like covers,
That's cool.
So, and I played for like a few years, like maybe 5 years, and then I went back into visual arts.
Okay. That's crazy. That's a crazy moment. Playing punk music and doing that.
Yeah, sometimes when I say this to people, they don't expect that at all.
Oh, that's crazy. Were you not tattooed at a young age? You didn't start getting into that till later?
I got tattooed at 19.
Okay, 19. Okay. Me too. I think I was 18. Yeah. And then, so did the tattoos and the punk rock kind of come hand in hand? That kind of lifestyle, or was it something else that inspired the tattoos from you?
Before tattooing, I was already working with art, because since before finishing the art school, I worked on my personal exhibition already.
Personal exhibition, okay.
Mm-hmm, and I got into photography. So the lead actually to kind of like start working with art was that I got into photography. I was about 19, I guess, and I was shooting BTS content for a music band, like for the music video.
Okay.
And during that like the video recording, they were having like crazy special effects for the video. And
it was like a punk band?
Yes.
Okay.
Like a local one. Sorry, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I appreciate that.
Okay.
It's okay.
So, and they
That sounds way better.
were having some crazy special effects, like prosthetics.
Yeah.
And I got in touch there with the leader of the makeup section in theater. Mm-hmm. So then she offered me, she knew I was already painting and I was already into body painting. I was working with body painting back then. And she asked me if I wanted to do an internship in theater. And then I started like that. So then I did this internship, was about 3 months. And I ended up immediately, I finished the school in the meantime. And like 3 months later, I was working in theater doing special effects.
That's crazy.
And then I worked in theater for, I think about 4 years, 4 or 5, since I was 19. And then when I was 23, I started tattooing.
Okay. Wow. Okay, so body painting. So just painting people, like, was that part of the art class? Like, what was that for?
So like I was painting like body
Was it
painting.
a job? Was it?
I was doing it as freelancer and then
Okay.
in theater because, like when it was like a lyric theater. So it was a very classic theater. But, like for stage, you always need makeup. Sometimes you need, in base of the show, you need prosthetics. So I learned also how to do that. And in a lot of cases, even like full body painting.
Okay.
So I think also that led me to, the type of work I do with tattooing, which is like, full body suits and like big works. Because I think like, I also did study a lot of anatomy and, all these like more classical stuff at school. And I was always super passionate for body anatomy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the stage before like body painting and then tattooing on big projects.
Yeah.
I also remember that the first body painting I did, I had this homework at school in which it was kind of like a test or exam. We needed to draw on paper the muscles of the human body. Each of us has like a different part. And I had a back, like the muscles of the back.
Yeah.
And instead of drawing it on paper, I decided to paint it on a friend's back.
Oh,
so I did a body painting of some real muscles. And then I shoot a picture. And I printed it on a puzzle, and then I gave
on a puzzle,
and then I gave to my teacher the puzzle pieces, and I was like, "You have to build it."
That's amazing, actually. Wow, that's cool. Did you get a good grade for that?
Yes.
And then what was your first tattoo you got?
I had like.
You still have it? No.
No, it's covered with black, but it's funny because it was kind of like an horror cat.
Okay.
From this like gothic version of Alice in Wonderland. There was a video game back in the days, and it was this like horror cat. It was like a skeleton, and the cat had tattoos and piercings.
Wow.
And now when I look back, it's so similar to my cat. Like I have a Sphinx cat.
Yeah.
And it's so similar. I look like him.
So did you keep that for a long time before you covered it up?
I did.
Yeah.
At least a few years.
So when you first got tattooed, did you realize at that point that you wanted to be fully tattooed? Like, did you get the bug? You get your first tattoo, you want to get another one. It's such a crazy addiction that we have. Like, we can't stop doing this. But like, as soon as you did it, you fell in love with it.
Yeah, I think the escalation was pretty quick. Also, I realized I'm pretty good with pain. I have a high pain tolerance and
high pain tolerance. Yeah.
And then I started tattooing almost. After a few years, but I think that process was very quick because I got that one, then I got another one later also on the leg, and then some like just very little ones, and then I wanted immediately a full sleeve and front,
It's crazy.
So
man.
then I started immediately with big projects. After I had like probably 3 little tattoos, then I was like, right, I want sleeves, I want a front piece, I want a full
so
back.
Crazy what happens, man. Were your parents tripping on the tattoos at all or no?
So in the beginning, I was hiding it.
Same.
And then it was impossible to hide them.
Yeah. You start getting stuff on your neck, it's like super hard to hide shit, man.
So you were hiding yours?
Yeah, I had something in the back of my head, a small thing, and I remember, it's a crazy story, man. I remember going to my grandfather's funeral and like, this is a true story, kneeling on the casket and like doing my thing for my grandfather, and my grandmother and my mom were behind me, and the Band-Aid came off and they were like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. Like they freaked out in this funeral about my head tattoo. And then at that moment, a couple weeks later, my grandmother would send me these long letters. I lived in New York, begging me not to ruin my body and stop getting tattooed. You were born so pure. Why are you fucking up your body? It was really, I have the letters still. It's kind of crazy. They hated them.
Was it your first one?
Yeah, it was like one of my first ones. I know. But they were so disgusted by me and so bummed. Like I was just like, fuck it. I'm not going to hide them. I was wearing long sleeves in the summer and stuff, like just to be respectful to my mom. But like I don't do any drugs. I don't eat animals. I'm not doing bad things. I'm just expressing myself, like.
Totally. How fast was the escalation from the first one to like getting pretty bad? So
crazy. Because then you have one and you want to even out the other arm, and then you want to go higher and higher. And then like I started getting tattooed in 1988. Yeah. Cindy, what's her name? Cindy Tremble. She still tattoos. She's a famous tattoo artist. I'll have to look up if I said her name right. She still tattoos. Her husband's a famous tattoo artist. She lives in Ohio. She used to work at Peter Tattoo in New York, and we all get tattooed there and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. But the thing is that, like, I always like to say to my clients also that the more you get tattooed, the more you start to focus on the empty spaces and you want to fill them up.
Yes. A couple years ago, I don't know why, but somebody took a picture of me in Germany. I was naked in the shower at one of the backstage showers. Like it was like a prison shower. And I'm just like that. And I saw the photo and I saw my whole body covered except for like these 2 spots. And that's all I focused on. Like, and then I came home, I was like, I'm fucking tattooing that spot because I have to be completely filled. It's crazy how fucked up we are with these tattoos.
Totally. We focus on very little spots.
I know. Are you completely covered now?
Yes, I am. I have one palm.
Oh shit, you got a palm. Yeah.
Only this one is free. I also have the bottom of my feet, like
Me too.
the soles of my feet.
I have the bottom of my feet too. The palm is like the fucking worst pain ever for me.
It was pretty easy.
Really?
I mean, especially then.
Let me see your palm. What you got yours? Oh yeah. Fuck.
But this one was pretty easy. But then the bottom of the feet was horrible. I think it was that tough that my brain completely erased the memory. I don't remember the pain. You know, while in other spots you do remember. You remember they were painful, and you also remember the pain. In that one, I only remember was horrible, but I don't remember the pain.
Damn. Yeah, I haven't done the bottom of my feet either. That's about all I have left, probably too. Would you ever tattoo your face?
I have a white one here.
Oh shit!
I have a
that's
sakyant.
sick.
It's a traditional Thailandese one.
That's cool.
So, a friend of mine, he's Thailandese and he does ritualistic tattoos. And because of the meaning of this one, I wanted a mantra, and it was for like protection, good luck,
nice
connection. And I felt the need to have it on the top of my body, but I didn't want to tattoo my face with black. So then I chose white.
I might want to do that. I might do something white on my face.
I think it's going to look like a little like a scar.
I know.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, I've had all these contracts with my wife that like, I'm not going to tattoo my hands. I'm not going to tattoo my neck. And I've broken these. I've been married 28 years. Every time I make a new contract with my wife, it's so fucked because I can't stop. Like I'm shaving my head tomorrow. I'm tattooing the top of my head tomorrow, actually.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm finishing my head tomorrow, which I'm not excited about. But but I don't think I ever do my face. Maybe I would do that, like that, something like that, like white or something.
Maybe white, because now I want more white.
On your face?
Yeah, I want something probably like 2 lines here on the side of my eyes.
Scarification's kind of sick too if they can do it right. Like just do like a cool scar.
Yeah, but I think I'm just gonna get like something very, very easy with white. But I don't want my face full, you know. I feel like
Same.
since I'm heavily tattooed all with black, I feel like having a clean face, it makes everything more elegant.
I agree. I don't want to ruin my nice face. But maybe we'll do like an X or something, like an XVX or something sick in white ink. We're so fucked. So yeah, tattooing, 19, and then so at that point you're working. Are you doing the theater stuff? What are you doing at that point when you're getting tattooed, and then in between that and then becoming a tattoo artist? Where you live in that point?
I was living in Sardinia.
Yeah.
So I moved for a little bit in London because I wanted to experience some, big cities. So I moved to London, and then I was back and forth with Sardinia at that time, and then I had the possibility to start tattooing. I started in Sardinia, and I moved back to London for about a year.
Okay.
And then I moved back to Sardinia for a year, and then I started to travel.
And that was it.
Yeah, it's always difficult to remember, so I have to, when you ask these questions, I have to kind of like clear the timeline a little bit.
It's a journey, man.
Yeah, because I was never stable in a place, I would spend every month in a different country. So I was...
That's cool, you love traveling, all the big cities and stuff.
For about 7 years, I was living out of Airbnb,
Wow.
I wouldn't have any apartment,
All by yourself, just traveling all around?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Very independent. It's very nice. And then what about veganism too? Because you started at a young age as well, correct?
At a young age. So I was mostly. I mean, I grew up surrounded by animals because my dad had a place. I don't know what's the name in English, but it's a place in which he had horses, and they were doing like sport with horses as well. And in the same place had a bunch of other animals, donkeys, chickens, and since I was a kid, I was being there playing with animals. And I developed immediately this thing of, if I'm playing with the chicken, why should I eat the chicken? I play with kids. I don't eat kids,
Love it.
So for me, it was just like, it was so natural. And then I stopped to eat them. And then when I was hanging out with a family of musicians, punks, they were vegetarian.
Okay.
And I found out, like about tofu, about soy. As I told you earlier, the only 2 things that you could find back then in Sardinia.
Yeah.
And then,
That's crazy. So you're like 14, you said?
14.
And was anybody else in your family?
No.
Wow.
So it was my twin and I.
She did the same time with you?
Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy how twins are connected like that. Were your parents supportive about it? Or they?
No, not at all. But then, then my dad got supportive, and he's currently one of my favorite vegan chefs.
Your dad?
My dad.
No way.
Yeah. And he's a meat eater,
You opened his mind though.
Yeah, totally.
That's cool.
And also because I was pretty picky, because I was like, if you're cooking meat on a grill and then put the potatoes, I'm not gonna eat the potatoes.
No.
I'm not eating contaminated food.
Yep.
And then he just he learned. And then if he wanted me to eat what he was cooking, had to be on separate pans and grills and everything. And
that's
then
so respectful and nice of him. Yeah.
Totally. And then I think it also, it was fun for him because he loves to cook, and it was kind of challenging, and he was also learning a lot.
Yeah. Is that why you cook too? You always been cooking your whole life?
Yes.
Fuck, I wish I cooked. I'm so bad.
You don't cook?
I eat out too much. My wife cooks, but not that. I mean, we eat out way too much, man. But yeah, we should be cooking more. I should take some cooking classes and surprise my wife or something.
That would be good.
So you've been cooking for a young age?
Yes.
Yeah. Because you had to back then. Obviously, you said there was only like tofu and a couple of things available.
Exactly. And also,
there's no Beyond Burgers or a bunch of shit.
No, absolutely not. I also I never had, for example, a vegan cheese until a few years ago when I was in Berlin.
Damn.
Because you couldn't even find those stuff, and I never ate cheese in my life. I didn't really like the taste of cheese, and on top I was allergic to milk. So I wasn't even looking for some substitutes because
You're lactose intolerant?
Yeah.
Okay.
And for me it was very normal to be just I've never ate those things, like meat or like cheese, so I don't even look for the substitutes. I was just eating plant-based. And then when I was in Berlin, I found amazing vegan cheese.
Was it made over there probably?
Yeah.
It's probably way better than the processed vegan cheese over here. I saw something recently. It was the top 10 things that are really bad, and one of them was vegan cheese. It was interesting. It was a bunch of other meat products, but the vegan cheese, something's weird with it over here. I don't know. It's the diet cheese. I don't know. There's so many rough cheeses. I wish that's the one thing is the hardest thing for people, I think, crossing over to veganism is giving up cheese.
Probably.
Do you know?
Yeah.
And then the vegan cheese is just kind of plasticky and rubbery and weird.
Mm-hmm. I had some very nice, made out of cashews
That's
or
good.
chickpeas,
Yeah.
But I still don't buy so much of vegan cheese,
Yeah.
And I don't like Beyond Meat, for example.
Yeah.
I never liked that.
I respect it and appreciate it, but it's not for me.
Same.
You know what I mean?
I feel it makes people that want to switch to veganism life way easier. So I do appreciate that. I heard so many people saying talking shit about Beyond Meat and stuff like that. And I'm like,
dude.
Why are you against? Some people are not strong enough to take a decision and make sacrifices eventually. But these kind of things.
It's a gateway. It's great.
Exactly. Make their life easy, and they can, have an easy way when they're doing a transition and when they're making these choices. So I'm totally down for that.
Me too.
It's just not for me.
Same. There's so many vegans that are like that too. It's I love that people can go to McDonald's or Burger King and try something that's vegan. And that word vegan scares people away so much. And try something that tastes good and similar to what they're used to, and it kind of crosses them over. Yeah, it's great. It's great. I've obviously had them before. I ate them when they first came out, but I'm more of a beans, rice, quinoa, kale, veggies, you know what I mean? Nuts, berries. I took it back to the basics, basically. You know what I mean? I try to eat super healthy.
Mm-hmm,
but I do appreciate that it exists. You know what I mean? It's such a crazy time. There's options everywhere,
And it's nice, that with the time we got to have so many options,
Yeah.
And also even just that restaurants as either vegan restaurants or mixed restaurants have now a bigger selection of vegan options.
Yeah. I kind of think, and I've talked about it before now, I kind of think that the reason why that Los Angeles especially had all those restaurants closing is I feel because every restaurant has a vegan option. So people can go with their friends who aren't vegan and go eat together.
Makes sense.
And they're kind of expensive too. It's hard to have a restaurant,
Yeah, makes total sense. I mean, for me, I do prefer to support vegan restaurants.
Yeah, same.
And also I'm feeling way more safe,
Yeah, in case of something in your food. Yeah.
Exactly.
But then you were traveling back then being vegan too. That's no joke.
Yeah, especially in Asia. But the app Happy Cow saved my life.
Happy Cow. We're talking about that. Whoever created Happy Cow, if you listen to this podcast, we love you and appreciate you.
We love you.
Thank you. Who the fuck created that? It's so fucking helpful. I was seeing in Brazil at different restaurants, Happy Cow approved, stickers on the windows.
Yeah.
Wow, man. So for the listeners, it's an app and you can search everywhere you are in the whole world and it tells you where the vegan spots are. But I would think Asia, tofu, all that, you can get some good stuff there, no?
Yeah, it's kind of easy, But once it was one of the moments in which I was the most grateful to that app. I was in Myanmar, so I was traveling Myanmar all by train and by bus because I wanted to explore all the little villages. And I feel pretty lucky I had the possibility to go there because it was right after they opened the border. and now it's closed again. So now
shit.
you can't go. So it was this like little window between like the military dictation. So I had a possibility to go. And I was in India right there, and then I had the possibility to go to Myanmar, and I spent 1 month there just traveling the country, and I was somewhere in the middle of nowhere. I was like, man, what am I gonna eat?
It's so brutal.
And then because also a lot of places there, for example, will put oyster sauce, something like that. And I was like, I was already in India for a month before. And I was living out of steamed rice and banana.
It was hard in India?
It was kind of hard because even though you find a lot of vegetarian food, they put ghee everywhere,
That's
like clarified
right.
butter. So, and once I got crazy sick because I got fried rice, and I thought, it was like fried with oil, and I ate this rice and I was probably fried with butter. At like 30 minutes later, I was with super high fever in the bathroom, puking for days and days. Because at that point, I was already, I don't know, like over 10 years without any animal product.
Yeah.
And plus, I told you, like, I'm like lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
So then I was so bad, like crazy bad for a full week. So then I was, just in case, I was only eating steamed rice.
That's it.
And then I went to Myanmar. I was like, man, I want to eat something else. And I found in the middle of nowhere a place, which wasn't obviously a vegan place, but someone pointed at this place saying they understand and speak good English, because the difficult stuff was also being understood there.
Yeah.
And they understand what vegan means.
Sick.
So they're not going to sneak animal products in your food. And I went there and I was so grateful.
That's perfect. That's crazy, man. Do you carry stuff with you, like supplements or anything like that, or
I started
bars or nuts or?
Nuts for sure. And then I started to travel sometimes with protein powder.
Yeah.
So I bring a protein powder with me. I really did it, especially I was traveling in Nepal. I went to Nepal so many times. And then I was doing that, it's pretty easy to eat vegan in Nepal. There are also like now a lot of restaurants. But I was just like, just in case also when I don't want to eat or I'm traveling and I don't find options, then I have some protein powder with me.
Yeah. Do you love traveling still?
Yeah.
You love flying?
I don't love flying anymore. I used to
so much.
And now I suffer the jet lag so much. I mean,
anxiety about it?
I'm also suffering the jet lag.
It's brutal.
So I'm also suffering now the time change for 1 hour.
Yeah. It fucks me up too. It gets dark early. It's so depressing.
Totally. And my cat is not like, didn't understand the time change. So he's waking me up like before 6 a.m.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah, the traveling, I love being at the place I'm going to, but the whole travel just kills me, man.
Same. I used to love it. I used to love the experience to go on an international flight and, like the whole thing. And now I would love to teleport myself the other destination.
It's so draining.
Yeah. And I do suffer the jet lag a lot. Years ago, I told you, like I was changing country every month.
I know.
And now it takes me so long to adapt.
I wonder what that is. It's just, I don't know.
Aging.
Yeah, maybe. Because it fucks me up. Like I was fucked up like a week and a half from Brazil. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not that many hours ahead. It's just the traveling and like, the worst is when you're traveling and they forget you had a vegan meal and you have no meal and you're on the 11-hour flight. That happened to me coming home. Like I woke up and my wife and son had eaten. And I was like, excuse me, I was asleep. They said, sorry, you only had 2 meals for your family. So my family ate, but I woke up starving. I hate that. Like I'm always so anal about make sure you get my meal right traveling. Cause
I always have some snacks with me.
Yeah, same. Yeah, and like the powders and all that stuff's so good to travel with. And like once you get there, you find something, but I don't know.
I think it's experience, the more you travel and the more you know, like what are the difficulties you find around and then you adapt.
Yeah. So by the time you start tattooing, did you have a lot of tattoos at that point? Have you gone from 19 till then, like going crazy with tattoos?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I had at least, I think I was working on the second sleeve.
Damn.
And then my front piece immediately. Because, it was also a way for me to learn because, when I started tattooing in 2012.
Yeah.
And back then, there were not so many female tattoo artists, and especially, in Sardinia. And so, like, not so many people were willing to teach because everybody was very jealous of the craft, plus a woman, plus in Sardinia, and plus for what I wanted to learn because there were probably 2 tattoo artists in the whole Italy doing especially what I wanted to learn, which was like, back then was like dot work, black work, like big projects.
Yeah.
So everybody was pretty jealous. So for me, the best way to learn was getting tattooed. Mm-hmm. So I could, study a little bit and observe what they were doing when they were tattooing me.
Yeah. Was there a certain person you loved and looked up to back then was doing that style that inspired you to do that black work stuff?
A few, mostly they were in Germany, actually, and they were working there. So I remember looking up to them, and my dream was that, like become like that good that I could work on big projects. So that was my goal.
So you never just did like regular tattoos at first?
I did a lot of walk-ins, a lot of little scripts, and I wanted to learn every technique. I did traditional, realism, Japanese, color. Yeah. Because I wanted to open many doors, and I was like, I will choose then what I have fun doing, but I want to learn every technique because I know also that for an artistic process, you don't always do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to be able then in the future to have the technique to bring new things into my work. Yeah. And now I'm pretty happy, for example, because I'm starting doing colors again after 14 years of tattooing. And now I'm like, I was getting bored a little bit to do always the same things. Yeah. And I mean, I always have fun and I always try to reinvent what I'm creating. But then I'm having fun doing some colors lately and also some smaller pieces. So, we never know in the artistic process or we have fun.
So there's not like a style that you won't do at this point? Like people aren't coming to you to get like a big color piece, really?
I will do it.
Yeah. Yeah. But you're known for what you're doing now. That's what people come for.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But I'm glad also because I think I just posted something on social media once, I was holding some colors, and then people were like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I would like to have some colors from you, Yeah. So I'm pretty grateful of people's trust.
It seems like there's a lot of women tattoo artists more now these days, right?
Way more.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, but you know what?
Women-owned shops, all these things. Yeah.
My very first tattoo convention, at that point I was tattooing for 2 years, was a tattoo convention for only female artists.
Oh, wow.
It was in Rome.
I heard about this.
It was called The Other Side of the Ink.
Yeah, I think I heard about this actually. It was the first one, right? They
did?
Okay, yeah. Wow.
That was pretty cool.
I think Kim Say, you know Kim Say?
Yes.
I think she told me about that actually. Yeah, so so you're trying to be a tattoo artist in a mostly man-dominated industry, and then women come. Yeah, that's crazy. It's just like the music industry too. It's all industries actually. Crazy, man. So they have that pressure alone to prove yourself.
Totally. And I was like, but I've been always pretty determined, and I was like, I don't care if no one wants to teach. I'm gonna learn. I don't care if people don't trust in my process because I had so many people saying I couldn't make it. Wow. And I'm always just don't even listen to those voices. Or on one side, I listen and they motivate me more to show them they're wrong.
Prove yourself. Yeah.
So I'm always also I'm that kind of person that you tell me I can't do something and I'm going to do it
that's the rebel in you.
That's
the rebel in you. Yeah, it's crazy. So there's that pressure. And then is it almost like kind of elitism, almost like to the, not the gatekeepers, but the older tattoo community, letting people in? Is it kind of hard to get in your way in there too, to get your name out there? Not that you tried to do, you just stayed in your lane and did your own thing, and that's where you are now because you worked hard.
I mean, back in the days was also really different, even though we are talking only about, almost 15 years ago. Yeah. It was pretty different because you will do the tattoo conventions because you want to be seen, because social media was not strong as it is today. Huge, so it was people wouldn't know you by Instagram. People will know you because they see you on a tattoo convention, because they see your piece on the stage, because you get an article on a magazine, because you won the prize in the convention. Mm-hmm. So I was doing all that.
Damn. Yeah, the portfolio now is just your Instagram.
Yeah, totally.
It's it's crazy how that is too. I'm sure it helps so much for people.
So much. I mean, that I'm pretty grateful. That social media gave me the possibility to travel wherever I wanted and have clients everywhere. Yeah. I was just, after a few years of working, I was just posting, I'm going to be in Nepal and the date, and I will book appointments in Nepal, So, or, wherever in the world. So I'm pretty grateful. I'm not the present on social media. I'm I open Instagram probably 10 minutes a day or something like that.
I love that. You check your DMs and stuff and talk to people? Answer questions and stuff?
Not as much as I probably should,
I respect that. That's cool.
I take my bookings only via email, for example, because I have an official booking system. Yeah. Because I'm also if a lot of people write you on Instagram and then you lose the messages, then you're also losing potential clients. And a lot of people just only comment stories, for example, and then you will have 100 messages in a day of just commenting stories. And if someone is trying to book an appointment there, maybe you miss it, Yeah. So I take my bookings only via email and
smart.
And I try to be present a little bit with social media, but I go in phases. Sometimes I have fun using it and I use it, and then sometimes I don't even want to open it for a week and then I don't open it.
So you're not addicted to it at all.
Not at all.
I love that.
Sometimes,
I love that.
like, you know, when people like put the limit and be like,
how many hours you spent?
yeah, and then like the limit to don't use it through the day, and sometimes have to put a reminder, open Instagram and post something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Also, you talked earlier, but you didn't play video games. You've always been outside doing stuff, being creative, being in the woods, being with animals, fucking being an artist, painting. It's awesome.
Totally.
Different generation.
Totally. And painting was something I was missing though while traveling a lot, you know, because so I used to, since I was 19 till when I started doing, I used to pay my rents with painting, doing exhibitions and selling the paintings.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, it was something I was doing professional, I would say. And then in the meantime, I was also working in theater. But then when I started to travel a lot, I didn't have space for painting, you know. So I did my last exhibition was probably 2014 or 15.
Wow.
And then I've been missing actually to have a base in which I could potentially like paint and start creating again and work on an exhibition. And right now, like this year, I feel like I finally have again the possibility to do it because I decided to move back, as I told you, like a year ago. It was last September. And I have now a spare room in my apartment, which I'm gonna be using as painting.
Plus, possibly a new space too.
Yeah,
you can do that.
Totally.
That's cool.
And that was just like, you know, the other side of, I enjoyed traveling, and I was traveling for over 10 years, and then I enjoyed that, and now I'm not traveling as much as I used to do before. So I want to focus more again on other creative projects or other than doing.
That's cool because now you can be kind of settled here and you have like a new spot and like a studio. You can do like an art show.
And I was kind of missing it, you know. And as timing, I really love it because, you know, I was young, full of energy, and not suffering the jet lag a lot. And I took the possibility to travel a lot. And now I can be a little more chill and be like,
settle down.
Exactly, rather than be like, you know, just being living in the same place until I'm 36, and then I want to start traveling.
You're still young, girl. You're young. Just chilling with your cats, just chilling. Let's talk about minimal ethic.
Mm-hmm.
It's active wear you're doing, cruelty-free, sustainable fashion, zero waste, using plastics and stuff. I saw you just dropped something, the new line's coming from recycled plastics from the ocean.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that.
So this kicked off in 2020?
In 2020. So because I was stuck in Berlin because of COVID, I was like, all right, I can't travel. I'm stuck here. I got to make the best out of my time. I love that. I can't stay like sit
can't sit
still.
So I can tell. Are you a coffee person too?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I'm Italian.
Oh yeah, duh. How many coffees a day?
Oh, I limited pretty much. I used to drink so much coffee. Now I drink like 2 a day, maximum 3.
Respect.
Yeah.
You? So you can't sit.
Do you drink coffee?
I have a love. I'm doing like tea. You're a mate. I have a weird relationship.
Love mate. Like I do the original.
No.
But I do the tea, like the original one, the legit one. But yeah, it's like it's a lot of much caffeine.
I know. Coffee makes me. The fucking podcast listeners know I talk about this shit all the time. I have a love-hate with coffee. It makes me super jittery and it makes me weird. It fucks me up. Mm-hmm. So I try to go to the tea. Yeah. Anyway,
I tried the mushroom coffee as well.
Is that good? I heard about that.
But
I hate mushrooms, by the way. But
I hate mushrooms.
You do?
Yeah, I don't eat mushrooms.
Me and my son hate them. My wife love them.
Me and my twin sister, we hate mushrooms.
Disgusting, but they're so good. We should, as vegans, we should be eating these things because they're supposedly healthy for us. Everybody's like, you're a vegan. I fucking hate mushrooms. They're nasty.
And they're nearly everywhere.
So if they're in your tea or coffee, you still tried it? It was all right?
So I tried the coffee, the mushroom coffee, and it doesn't taste good. Like I did.
I forgot the name. It's called mud or something.
The mud water.
Yeah, mud water.
No, it doesn't taste good. I tried. I really tried. And then I ended up drinking both. I was like, all right. And then I started the day with mushroom coffee. But then I missed the taste of coffee, so I will still have coffee.
So what it is, it's trying to get you off of coffee and just taste kind of like coffee? Yeah.
It doesn't taste much similar to coffee.
You know what's crazy?
But apparently the nice thing is that it doesn't give you the kick of coffee, and the energy lasts for a longer time, you know. It doesn't give you like heartbeat and stuff.
Yeah, this shit, Amaz, I'm gonna get you some. This has got 160 milligrams of caffeine. It's fucked. It's so bad. You know what's crazy is that Mud company hit me up. Shout out to Mud, whatever you're called, and they sent me some product. I didn't even try it because it was a mushroom. Fuck.
I'm also like, you know what? I never
love mushrooms.
So I know that they are so healthy, and sometimes I was like, I had people telling me to try like mushroom pills, like adaptogen, because they were like, oh, it's super good for the immune system. You should just like get the mushroom pills. And I could not, because I'm like, no, there are like blended mushrooms inside.
No, it's crazy how bad I hate mushrooms. It's just the texture or something. I don't know what it is, dude.
And also, it's this kind of like back taste, because I had people telling me for my whole life, please taste this mushroom. It doesn't taste like a mushroom.
I hate that.
And some I could not. They were like also looking gross. And then
so gross.
And then some when I tried, I was like, they all taste the same for me.
Yeah.
You know? And they have this kind of like, not that I normally eat it,
like
but
a dirt.
They taste like rust.
Like what?
Rust.
Rust?
Yes. I have this feeling that it's kind
and you
of
don't eat rust either, so.
No, actually. I'm like, it's like if I lick a piece of like rusty iron, that's
which you don't do.
Which I don't do, but like that idea for me is a mushroom.
Okay, you know what's crazy to me? I always say that mushrooms remind me of like elephant skin. And I've never touched elephant skin before or fucking ate it, but it has that elephant skin vibe to it. Yeah. We're such bad vegans. Anyway, do you make any clothes out of mushrooms? No, you don't. People use mushrooms to make leather.
I know, and the leather mushroom apparently is so good. I have a project to do actually like shoes and jackets with cactus leather.
That's cool.
I have some samples of cactus leather and it's amazing. It's so soft. It's like kind of like you could expect like real leather, but much better. And I have some from other brands. I have some boots and some shoes, bags. And it's amazing. It's so cool. So that's one of my next projects.
Yeah. Do you only drop releases when it's like a new moon or a full moon? Is that true?
Uh-huh.
That's sick.
I like that. I don't know. It kept me more connected to like the environment and nature.
Do you do grounding too?
I do.
Okay. All right. I got you. I've tried it too. It's interesting. Yeah. I definitely think it works. Interesting.
I mean, I journal a lot. I used to meditate way more.
I need to meditate, dude.
Uh-huh.
I need to do yoga. I never tried yoga.
I'm not doing any more much meditation, and like as yoga, I'm more like kind of like the dynamic flows and a little more kind of like like fitness or like stretchy vibe.
Yeah.
I don't really like very like sit still yoga or meditating.
Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, I can't.
And I used to in the past, like when I was way younger, I used to meditate a lot, and now my meditation is tattooing a lot, because I'm completely in my zone for like 8 hours a day, and I don't even need to like feel the need to meditate. I did have some time in which I wasn't tattooing for like a month or 2 months, and I will feel the need to meditate then.
Okay.
But normally my meditation is journaling. I journal a lot.
It's good release, therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You just journal about your thoughts every day?
Yeah. Mostly
nice.
like morning and evening. I journal about my thoughts, my intentions, or like situation happen. That's my grounding as well.
Okay.
Help me feeling like grounded and not overwhelmed, and put my thoughts.
You've been to therapy before too?
I did.
Yeah. Like a long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always talk about therapy on here because I went for the first time last year. Yeah. My whole life, never been. Yeah.
How was it?
It was cool. It's interesting. I have to go back. I went like twice. It's crazy because nobody in my family's ever been to therapy, My brothers, my mom, nobody. I broke the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool.
Nice.
It was cool to talk to somebody. It's weird. Not bother my wife all the time about shit. Let's go talk to a stranger. Do you know what I mean? It was cool.
I think it's nice. It's kind of like it kind of like give us a mirror to talk with ourselves,
Yeah.
And sometimes when we have all these thoughts in our mind, and when you talk them out loud, it's kind of like that you have new realizations. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And for me, journaling is that, and also what I like is it keeps me like more on point with the track of time, because sometimes, we live life so fast, and sometimes feels like so long, something happened so long ago, or like we were feeling in a certain way maybe really long time ago, or like not even so long ago, and then I like to read my journal back. So in the beginning of each month, I like to set the intentions of the month, and then at the end of each month, I write down my achievements, and I read the intentions I had for the month.
Wow.
A lot of time I completely forget, like I write my intentions.
Damn.
And then at the end of the month, I'm like, what were the intentions for October? And then I go to read them back.
That's crazy.
And then I write down what intentions like I achieved, what are the goals. And like mostly all the times it's like I achieved everything, even just like super important stuff.
That's cool.
Because then you set yourself with, working towards those intentions that you set, which you even forgot.
Once you put it out there too, it's like you put it in the universe as well.
And then time to time I like to read. When I finish one journal, I like to read it back. And normally it's about, let's say, 6 months. And it's so wild to see how many things happened in the course of 6 months. And it feels like a lifetime. And you're like, oh my God, like 6 months ago, I was struggling for this thing or this person or this situation. And now it's not even part of my life anymore. You know,
moved on. Yeah.
Crazy.
So it's those things that seem so big at the time too, right? Yeah, I mean, you're super focused.
Yeah.
You're super like, got a good drive. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so you started this brand during 2020.
Yes. Also,
what was like the
I easily lose track of
No, it's everybody. I do that too. I'm a fucking spaz. We're so similar, dude. But I want to try yoga. I want to try to do something with stretching, with something with my mind. Like I need to try something like that. I've tried everything but that stuff.
I think it's very nice, and especially you feel so much the benefits in the moment in which you are practicing, and then you stop for some reason.
Yeah.
And then you feel how much your body miss it.
I saw you did a post today about it's been a couple months since you did that.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't training for about 2.5 months.
Yeah.
Life was going so fast and I was super busy with other things. So I'm not the most, I would say that like I'm not the most consistent person with movement, but also that's probably my consistency. You know, I will have some times in which I'm 0 to 100 and I'm training every day.
And you go hard, yeah.
Exactly. And then I slow down. I kind of like just move my focus and like shifting the priorities in base of what I need in that moment. But I mean, I've been practicing yoga for maybe 8 years or something.
Okay.
And I will have some times in which I do it every day, and then sometimes in which I do it twice a week. And then, you know, it's just like that. But yeah, I wasn't training for a while and I was missing it. And then I practiced a few days ago and I was so happy.
Yeah, you do crazy shit. It's crazy, man.
And I was so sore.
It must feel, that's cool though, yeah. I need to do something like that with like more stretching and more stuff like that. I don't know. I had a really shitty experience at Bikram yoga once. I've only been to yoga one time. It was the hot yoga.
Oh my, I never did that. I'm so scared.
I went one time and it was like at the Bikram spot on La Cienega, and it was like the floor smelled so nasty. It was like a packed room. It was super hot, obviously. And I was slipping and sliding. I was having a rough time, you know, and the lady on the microphone's like, hey, Mr. Tattoo Man, you having they started calling me out on the microphone in front of all these people, and it was so embarrassing. I was like, fuck, this is not positive. This is not cool. What is this community? And this lady made fun of me on the microphone for having a tough time. Like, oh, you have all those tattoos. Like, literally called me out. And so when I left there, I was like, yo, fuck yoga. I'm never doing this again. It was such a bad experience. And then Monday at the carpool picking up my son, a couple moms said, oh, we saw you at the class on Friday. You had a tough time, didn't you? I was like, dude, fuck this yoga shit, dude. But all my friends like, that was just some weird thing.
You had the worst experience.
And then that Bikram documentary came out and all that shit. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, it's bad things for Bikram.
Really?
Yeah, the guy who started it, just bad fucked up things. So yeah, so I was like, this is not positive. This is supposed to be like a community, but like, you're calling me out on the mic. It was my first time ever doing it, and I never came back. It was weird.
Crazy. I mean, also, I have so many friends in the yoga industry, and also, like, I work with a lot of them, you know, also for my brand.
Yeah.
Because I also, like, I made it also pretty much movement-oriented.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So I know a lot of people in the yoga industry, and apparently it's kind of crazy. It's, like, full of drama and, like, this kind of stuff, you know. It's kind of like, there's the good part. I don't know. I guess, like, in every industry, it's also, like, an artistic industry.
I got the bad day or something.
I think you got a bad one.
That's why, but I want to give it another chance because I know it'll be good for me. You know
but
don't
like don't do hot yoga. Do like
I know. So you never tried it? It was so gnarly. I was so fucked up.
I was afraid to faint.
I was slipping. Oh, you're all slipping on the mat. It like smells. I'm like fucking dehydrated after that. It was brutal.
No. Also, I like to feel comfortable, you know, and I feel like if I'm feeling super hot and I'm sweating, I can't be focused, you know, and I want to have fun. I'm not doing it because I'm doing it because I want to have fun learning some new poses. I want to challenge my body, and also I want it to work, you know, on also like a good side, like, you know, stretching and for the back pain and all this stuff. But mostly I want to learn new things. Yeah. And if I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm not focused to learn.
It was hard.
I bet.
Okay, back to minimal. So there wasn't no really vegan kind of companies like that before yours?
I mean,
like doing the stuff, making the stuff you're making, like the luxury activewear and stuff.
So definitely there are some vegan brand. I mean, I'm a big fan of Stella McCartney.
And
she does like
the OG.
Actually, she does like high fashion, all vegan. Which,
that's right.
Yeah, so I'm a super fan of her. I used to draw clothes since I was a kid,
Yeah.
you know, and I always liked it. And with my twin sister is super good sewing. Like she does also circus costumes. So I've been into fashion for a while, and I always suffer the thing that there are not so many cool vegan brands if you want like something like which is like fully sustainable or like fully sustainable things. I was kind of like, all the sustainable brands are not looking very cool like I like, you know, to dress, or like
more like high-end vibes too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then I wanted to create something which will be high-end and like you know, good looking but also completely sustainable, and it was so difficult. Like, you know,
like a vegan Lululemon.
Kind of, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a high-end, like nice shit.
I also wanted the brand being not tattoo oriented. So definitely I did also some tattoo merchandise, and I started like that, you know, also to create little budgets, because it's all my projects are self-financed.
Yeah.
So I started with some merchandising and printing on t-shirts, and then I created little collections. The first one was a series of kimono, and then with a friend of mine, I hand printed with wood blocks on the kimonos, and we did a little collection like that.
That's awesome.
And it was crazy because, I mean, I did years of researches of materials, and we did a kimono with this material it's called Tencel Lyocell, and it's biodegradable fiber. It's made out of wood, and it feels like silk.
That's
so it was
crazy.
So crazy. And it's producing sustainable fashion is crazy expensive, you know.
Sure.
So like the fact that people complain about the prices of sustainable clothes, it's just like we cannot sell them cheap, you know. Like I see brands selling t-shirts for like $5, and that $5 is not even the thread that you use to put the fabrics together.
Yeah.
So that's so crazy. So it was kind of a riot, but I'm happy. And then after that, I did some kind of like basic, because like I like to dress pretty basics, and then like use accessories and like jackets and funky shoes. So I created like a lot of basics, and then I started to move towards the activewear.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff's crazy, man. It's cool.
And now I'm kind of like putting them together, because this collection you saw is gonna be the first one in which I'm printing on the fabrics. So I'm putting my tattoo designs all over printed.
I know. I saw that. That was like the Kiku shirt.
Yeah.
That shirt's sick. I'm gonna get that shirt.
I was gonna bring it to you, but I didn't know the size,
okay,
so I was gonna ask you the size.
No, that's cool. And then I saw almost like the one you announced that's coming soon. It almost looks like that kind of style and all the stuff, right?
Exactly.
That same Kiku. Yeah.
And then for that, it was also, so I worked on creating the collection actually since 2020 or 2021, and I got the samples of the materials, and this is produced in Bali. I got the samples of the materials, and this company works with these fabrics made out of plastic. So they collect mostly it's fishing nets and plastic bottles from the ocean.
Crazy.
And then, you know, they collect them from there, and then they turn them into a fabric, which is like a nylon polyester.
That's
but
insane.
But it's like all recycled. And you know, and it's funny that you named Lululemon before, because the touch is like Lululemon. It's like, you know, that soft and high-end.
Yeah.
So I went to visit the manufacturer, because as I told you, I like to produce local, and it's so important for me, for my brand, to see the workers' conditions. So then I wanted to see the building, I wanted to see the workers, you know, check every condition. And I was very happy with everything. So I visited them last year in 2023, and then I started working on the collection.
That's awesome. It's crazy. It's crazy people going to the oceans and doing that. It's taking it all and using it. It's amazing, man.
Totally. Which, I mean, you know, we have like so much plastic around the globe that we can just recycle instead of producing new one. Like,
I know.
That's like the ultimate goal for me, because we cannot get rid of plastic. We have it. Like, we have plastic all around. So just then let's use it to create new things.
Did you see Seaspiracy?
Yes.
Bro. Anybody that's on the fence about like, oh, I still like eating fish, I need to get my iron and my B12, whatever. It's like, dude, I sent that doc to so many people. It's just like, it's crazy, man. It's crazy how people think it's like straws. It's all the straws, but it's all the netting and stuff. It's crazy.
Totally.
Man.
Yeah, no one think about the fishing nets, for example. That, you know.
I know. So now you're making clothes out of that.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
I'm so happy. I want to find a nice way to also like show, like together with the collection, before dropping the collection, I want to do a big also kind of like, advertisement about what happened in the ocean.
Yeah, you should. That's awesome.
Because also like my main thing was that I want to use the visibility of, the brands, like my visibility in the tattoo industry, and then the brands like getting into fashion, and then the tattoo supply to also show what's going on in our planet, and to create a little
awareness. What inspired you and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crazy. Also for the listeners, like, I'm sure there's ink in my body from the 80s that's not vegan. I never even thought about that, getting tattooed most of my life. There's all kinds of weird inks they use, but like for the listeners, I know you're strictly vegan. Also, you have the minimal ethic tattoo supply, which is plastic free.
Mm-hmm.
For the listeners, so what is it? And I know like the little plastic cups for the ink. What is it in the ink that wasn't vegan for all these years?
I mean, like inks were created with so many like different type of like minerals, and then like diluents and testing also. Like what
the
can
testing
make it,
of it.
What can make it also not vegan is definitely the tasting.
Totally.
And then I don't know, there were like some voices about like I don't know, like bones.
Yeah, ground down
things.
bones.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah, I heard about that too. Yeah.
So, but I mean, now they are pretty strict. Also, like, I use colors from Europe, and Europe is way more strict than America with all the regulations. So, for example, like
just like the foods
in Europe, you can't. They're not allowed like American colors, for example, because they said like they're cancerogen and stuff like that. And and like Europe is
I'm
like
scared now. You said cancer or
I
something?
mean, I think it was also this thing like. That in COVID or right after COVID, they put this new regulation, and all the colors had to be like to pass the REACH control. So also all the colors in the market were not legal anymore, and every brand had to like turn the colors with new formulation to be like good for the REACH control. I also think it was like a big marketing and money thing,
Sure.
And also, like a lot of us grew up using like painting ink. Like sue me to do tattoos. Probably a lot of your tattoos are like sue me for painting.
Yeah. I heard like shit, they used to put motor oil in ink, all kinds of shit back in the day. Weird things. I probably got so much crazy, terrible things in my
me too.
Yeah. In our pure vegan bodies, we have like some random ass shit in there.
But it's cool, that I have now a lot of clients always saying, hey, I'm vegan. I want to make sure the inks are vegan. And I really like it. I'm vegan forever. And obviously I use vegan stuff, but I like the people ask me.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah. And then also with the tattoo supply stuff. So what in the tattoo supply stuff wasn't vegan? I know it's like plastic free, but... So
it's not mostly about the vegan there, it's about the plastic.
Yeah.
Because in the tattoo industry, we use a lot of disposable plastic.
True.
So like,
the little things, inks go in the little ink cups, right?
That's one of them, everything, we need to cover every surface we touch with plastic because of the cross-contamination. So we cover the station, we cover the spray bottle, we use the ink caps to put the ink, the razors to shave, so everything is in plastic. And then after every session, you pack everything to throw it away, and it's shit tons of disposable plastic.
Damn.
So I joined this event from some friends of mine in 2018, and it was an event in Bali to help the island against the plastic pollution. And we were a group of 70 tattoo artists making tattoos and creating art in order to raise money to donate to the island, to buy some machines to recycle the plastic. And with that, in that event, we even did some activities like beach cleaning.
Yeah.
And in the beach cleaning, I mean, like after 2 hours and about 400 kilos, which is 800 pounds of plastic collected, was looking like we did nothing. We collected plastic, microplastics into about 100 Utah bags. With also schools, we were working with kids.
Fuck.
And you will see on one side 100 of Utah bags filled with plastic, and then you will look at the beach and it looked like we did nothing. It was still full of plastic.
Wow.
And I mean, other than syringe and disgusting stuff, we collected even like tattoo, ink caps.
Really?
Yeah. And then of course, then there were like forks, spoons and stuff like that. But there were ink caps, and I was like, man, look how far we go. And then I had the idea to create my line of biodegradable material. And I had the idea when I was in the kitchen in my apartment in Berlin, and I was putting the bag of the compost, of the compostable trash. And I was like, wait a second, I use biodegradable bags in my home, like I do everything plastic free
Yeah.
at home. So, and this material can be totally used to create all the covers we use in the portatouing.
So you went and just researched it and did it?
Yeah.
Damn. And it wasn't really done before?
It wasn't. It started,
Wow.
I saw like, in the meantime that I was working on the project, there were 2 other brands which did it because Europe was way before America sensitive on this topic.
Of course.
So there were 2 brands, but the quality was terrible. They were really looking like trash bags because they were like green and with some scripts, and the quality wasn't amazing. It was like they were very thin and they will break pretty easily.
Yeah.
So in that moment, what was in the mind of people was that biodegradable material is not safe for tattooing because it will break and then you contaminate everything.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to create was a high quality product which is as safe as plastic, but then not as bad.
Yeah.
And also good looking. So I decided to do it black.
Everything's gonna be black. So how long did it take to make that happen?
A lot. I started probably at the end of 2018 and then I launched in 2021.
Wow. So doing all the research and looking into that?
Yeah,
right?
and like a lot of testing the materials, creating prototypes.
Also, that new skin that people use is plastic too.
Yeah, it's silicone.
Yeah. So is there a new version of that isn't?
I haven't made that yet.
Okay.
So my idea, because it was also during COVID, so as
you got a lot done during COVID, man. You flipped a negative to a positive.
The thing was that I was so broke, so because I didn't even have the possibility to tattoo. But then I was like,
oh, shit.
I always think when we want something, like we manifest it. So I was like, I'm gonna manifest the money. It's fine. I want to do this project.
So cool.
So I just like borrowed money here and there.
Survival mode.
To launch the project on a like proper way, the investment was gonna be big, and I couldn't even ask a loan to a bank because they were not releasing credits because it was COVID.
Yeah.
So then I was like, right, I'm gonna invest in little productions or whenever I can, and then launch a few products at a time. So the first round was only 3 products, and then I added like 2 more, and then 2 more. Like the first year I was able to launch the first 2. Like the first 2 drops were like 5 products, and then 2 more products a year later. And the main mission was before to substitute everything we use disposable and then adding products on the way. And I'm still working on that. I don't have like a big line of products, but I have all the essentials to work completely plastic free.
So did it do well? That people, was it good? Was it receptive well? That people,
it was a good response. People are still counting like the money in the tattoo industry. So it's like, oh, if I can save €1 or $1, I save it and I buy plastic, So also what I did.
Especially people aren't conscious of what's happening in the environment and stuff too. Like
exactly. So I think like they need a little more awareness first. So that's what I will be also working more in the next few months, creating awareness, because also I had to slow down the project for a little while. Because I was moving from Europe to here, and then I moved the company here. So then I started 1 year ago. I started setting everything, and it took a while. Like it took pretty much. Also, I'm alone doing all the project.
Fucking nuts. Are there a lot of vegan tattoo artists?
There are now. I met quite many.
That's because you are one, so you know all the other ones. I'm just saying, like in general, I wonder, man. It's crazy. It's like. Let me think about that. I know a bunch too as well.
But yeah, exactly. But I think people will start understanding more in the next few years. And also, I wanted my project was mostly for a mission, as my main business. My main business is tattooing. So I was like, I don't care to have a big return on investment in this project. But I do want as many people as possible to use it. So I kept the prices same as the plastic ones. So
that's amazing.
They have no other choice than the good choice.
I love that. It's not even about being vegan. It's just like animals and the planet and the environment and everything. You know what I mean? Just like, right? Recycling, just everything.
Totally.
Doesn't have to be like, I just feel like if people hear something vegan, they're automatically like, you know what I mean? It's such a bad rep.
Because a lot of people, this happened a lot in Italy when you say, I'm vegan, do you guys have anything vegan? And they're like, no, because they think they have to put something like tofu in their dishes. And I was like, do you have a tomato sauce pasta? And they're like, yes. Okay, that's vegan.
Easy.
You do you have like, obviously.
Beans and rice, whatever, dude. Yeah. It's so true.
So, but they were thinking that like something in order to be vegan had to be complicated or have a lot of things. And I was like, no, you don't need to add. You actually eventually remove. Like, give me a pasta without parmesan on top.
But I also feel like your vibe is you're leading by example. You're not really like a preachy vegan. Like you should. Like I don't see any of your stuff online. You're like, be vegan. Don't eat that. Like you're just living it and leading by example, right? You're trying to make a difference in the world.
Totally.
You're not preachy.
I think especially like, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like being vegan for so long, you have some time in which, especially in the beginning, in which you fight a lot and you expose yourself way more.
You're so excited about telling everybody about it.
Exactly. But then I also found that the best way to influence people was just by showing them without trying to convince them of that. And like, I had so many people in my life turning vegan just because I will cook them meal and the meal was vegan and they will see how easy I live with being vegan and not even bothering anybody else. And then they will turn vegan.
Yeah, I love that. Like people say world peace starts in the kitchen. It's like what people eating, people eating together and stuff like that.
Totally.
Like I can see that's your approach. Like you're just actually living it and doing it and trying to, do the best you can in this world and make it better. But you're not like, you should do this. You should be like me and fucking I'm vegan, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that's cool. The people that are like that, I respect the way people help the animals. They all do it in different ways.
Totally. And I mean, I'm the first one, that as we said earlier, that if someone tell me to do something, I'm going to do the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and some people, it's kind of like when you take them in like to a strong, like aggressive way, you're going to find resistance. And the best way, it's kind of like, all right, I'm going to just like circumnavigate this resistance wall and sneak in. And
like you're doing like with the ink stuff, the tattoo stuff, supplies, it's, you're making the same price. So there's no, vegan stuff's more expensive, or you know what I mean? You can't do that.
Exactly.
You make it accessible for everybody. It's so cool. And the shop you work at right now, it's all vegan shop?
No, they're not all vegan.
Okay.
No.
Is it like all vegan tattoo shop here though in LA? I thought there was. I don't know.
I
thought there was one in Crescent Heights or something. It was like all vegan tattoo artists. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Such a crazy world with tattooing too. How like it's huge. Like I have. Who did I see that? I always talk about this. Like my FedEx guy has a tattoo like on his neck or something. Dudes at Trader Joe's with their eyelids tattooed. It's crazy how normalized it is now.
The body modification, you mean?
Just everything tattoos itself. It's just, I think it's the TV shows that did that years ago. They put it in people's households. Whether that was good or bad for the industry, I don't know, but it made it really popular. And then everybody wanted to tattoo and thought they could do it and bought machines on Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying like how it affected in a positive way too. I just feel like it's more acceptable, so more people are getting tattooed.
Totally. I have, for example, a lot of my clients during the for past few years are like doctors.
Yeah.
Like doctors, nurses. I have
just normal civilians.
Mm-hmm. But I remember that it was so cool when I moved to Berlin, which was pretty different from Italy. Italy is still kind of like more conservative.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Berlin, I was going to a pharmacy and the lady at the pharmacy had like shocking red hair and fully tattooed. Or like the nurse at the hospital with visible tattoos, not even like putting an effort to cover them. And that was so cool for me. It was kind of like a very different world. I mean, Berlin is such a bubble. But then I also saw that even here, it's kind of like very common to see people in every industry now with visible tattoos.
Yeah. There's no more job stoppers.
No, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Even though I feel like some people just got all their face done first to be shocking and not get a job. It might be hard to get a job with full face tats, but like I'm seeing everybody with necks and hands and fucking...
I mean, there's still some... Okay, because I have a situation which happened recently and I was so disappointed because there's still a little bit of this kind of like preconcept about that. So
preconceived notions or prejudgments, I
was modeling for a friend of mine. She's a photographer and she's sponsored by, maybe I can't say who, but like a big like photographic equipment brand. So she did some photos of me because they had to post it on like their page, all their medias and stuff like that. So she had a team. We shoot together this stuff, and then they told her, "Oh no, we can't publish your content because the model is fully tattooed." But they put it in a way like, "Oh, there's too much artistry. We have to juggle around." So they couldn't post this, and the photo shoot was amazing. It was something very, very cool.
Wow.
But they wouldn't, and then she had to do then the same concept with not tattooed models.
Crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, so there are some people that are still like, that's too much.
It's like I mean, it's like
2024
it
though.
was one of the leaders in the photo industry, So I was like, that's like so shitty.
It's okay to have like a neck one, maybe your hand or something less shock. I don't know, man. It's crazy how people just get tattooed. Oh, how about this? The people that are getting knocked unconscious.
Oh my God.
And then they're getting gold teeth done. They're getting their fucking back done. They wake up. It's crazy.
It's so crazy. They asked
no judgment, but I couldn't do that.
I couldn't do that. I said no to do that. They reached out to me and asked me to tattoo for one of these things that they are doing, in which they do full anesthesia on someone, and then you have to tattoo, and you have all the medical kit there, and it's kind of like there's no connection with the client. You're surrounded by doctors.
The person's asleep.
I'm tattooing on a dead body, basically. And I'm like,
shit's crazy.
And like, I feel like the biggest part of my work method is the connection with the client.
Totally.
It's like the connection exchange, because they give me energy back, and you have sometimes people that give you more energy back, and some people less.
It's a personal thing.
It's an experience. I always like to say that the way I work is not even about getting a design for the clients. It's about getting an experience.
100%.
And also for me, like, I also get an experience from those clients. And if I'm tattooing someone which is sleeping, I have no experience. I'm just drained out of my energy, and I'm tattooing with like a kip which is like looking at me, and
you just stay with your thoughts. You're just tattooing, just like,
and I have no return of energy.
It's so weird.
Crazy. So I said no when they asked me.
Yeah, I feel like, to me personally, I'm not judging for the listeners, but I think it's cheating. Like, I love the smell, I love the sound, I love the conversations, I love the pain, I love everything about getting tattooed. I love the smell of the spray, I love getting wiped down, just all that shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
Totally, but me too. And also, I do feel like it's like, in a way, like the experience you're having with getting tattooed and transcending the pain, it's empowering. You get to know like so many aspects of yourself while you're in this vulnerable state, you know, and like resisting the pain, or like not even resisting. It's kind of like, I like to say that it's like walking with the pain, you know, and you lead through all the session with like up and downs of like energy. Sometimes you want to give up, and then you're staying and you're there with your thoughts, and it's kind of like you release a lot of energy.
It's an emotional roller coaster, all that shit.
And you release all the energy, and you create space for the new one. And it's I don't know, and it's
a human connection. It's real,
and it's a life-changing experience.
Totally.
And you know, like, you want to be present when you have like having this experience. You don't want to sleep.
It's crazy. So yeah, it's a new thing for the listeners. I heard they're paying like 100 G's or something more. It's a lot of money to be put out like that.
It's so crazy. They end up paying one session something like $100,000.
Yes.
It's so
and
crazy.
that's just to be put under, I think, almost. And then there's like 5 or 6 tattoo artists all doing your whole back when you wake up with a back piece. I wonder how that is for your body too, like waking up and having all that, your immune system and shit. I don't know, man.
So bad.
Yeah.
I got tattooed without any type of numbing, and I tried once, and it was so bad.
I did too. It's weird.
It was so bad, because then like I was already like, when I finished the session, I started feeling like all the pain came back together, and I felt dizzy, and like I was feeling like maybe I'm gonna puke, maybe I'm gonna faint.
Damn.
I was just like so bad.
What about like all the blackout work people are getting too? Is that intense? I heard that's pretty intense for your immune system too.
I mean, it depends, I guess, how many hours you're doing. Yeah. I mean, yesterday I did black on a client for like 6 hours.
Oh,
I
wow.
was doing okay though. But it was happening way less than when we did all the lines, you know.
Okay.
So I think it's kind of like a lot of people still have this concept that big chunks of black are like a brutal work, because it went viral a few years ago.
Okay.
People doing this, like, they called it brutal black.
Okay.
And they were doing black work like so fast and so aggressive and like very bad looking.
Okay.
But then like it's kind of like, it's like when you're packing colors, it's basically the same. Yeah, you might go fast, like I go very fast with black.
Yeah.
But it's not that bad. I feel like lines sometimes are like way more painful. They even like, you know, go deep in the skin rather than solid color. And then
the machines they're using are like, how many needles are there? It's pretty thick, right, for the blackout stuff?
Yeah, I use big needles for that.
Okay. like how big? Like
39 needles, 49.
Okay, that's big, right? Okay.
you probably got your fillings with like a 15.
Wow. I was thinking about this the other day. The first person I ever saw with anything blacked out was a dude from Rage Against the Machine.
Mm-hmm.
His leg and his, I don't know if you remember that. Like if you look that up. Yeah, so one of the guys has a blacked out arm and leg, and that was the early 90s, and that's the first time I've ever seen that. I want to say he was one of the first people, I think, in bands to kind of, first time I saw in the public ever doing that back then. It was so shocking. I was like, what the fuck? But now it's like, it's so popular now.
It's very popular.
It's crazy.
It's funny though, because I always have like when I when I meet even just like randomly in the street, black people, they're always so happy.
They say shit to you about it?
Yeah, they're always like, good job, sister.
Oh my God, dude. That's so fucking funny. It's so crazy. So it's like either like the heavy black work, or I don't know if it's still popular, like the super fine line, like single needle, stick figure, poke stuff. It's like, that's kind of like, I don't know if that's still trendy anymore.
It's kind of popular. I feel like what's like a new trend is this micro-realism. They do like very fine lines and do like kind of paintings or like realistic things, but like
small.
So small.
I think Rue does stuff like that too. It's like single needle, super small portraits. But also I remember like during the pandemic, it was like people having stick and poke parties. And even my son's like, can I get stick and poke in my classroom? Like, you're not going to get your first fucking tattoo, a stick and poke in the back of your classroom. I know every tattoo artist in the fucking world. So we waited, obviously, but it was like all these kids getting the stick and poke shit and fucking the single line, like prison style tattoos. It's a
so
trend.
Funny.
It's
my
crazy.
My sister does the stick and poke in her camper van at the circus.
What? She does it in a camper van at a circus. For people coming to get it from her there?
No, only to friends, only to her colleagues.
God, dude.
It's pretty fun.
What kind of stuff did you do in the circus? Did you try? Obviously, you tried it, right? You did some stuff or no?
So I at the circus I play when I go to visit my sister.
Yeah.
Last time when I went there, I did hair hanging. Like I was hanging from my hair.
Fuck. Like how? Like how? What do you mean? No, like with like not one of the things, right? The hooks.
I used to do that.
Really?
Even before tattooing. I've been doing body suspensions for like since I was probably like 20.
So you were suspended with the hooks in your back or something? Holy shit, girl.
So I did some amazing ones. I did once. It was a very fun
one. You got photos and stuff?
I do.
Okay, I want to see that shit.
Yeah, I have one. It was probably the most beautiful I did. I was in Nepal on the rooftop of a guest house.
Okay.
And I was suspended in a Scorpio position. So I was in a backbend. I had the hooks on my back and on my knees, but I was backbending. So imagine that my feet were on my head.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh shit, it's okay.
And then I was hanging there. It was pretty beautiful.
How'd you get into that?
And then one fun that I did a zip line.
Zip line.
So I had the hooks. I had the hooks on my back, and I was in Sardinia. And the zip line was from a cliff to another cliff, and then I only had the water underneath, and that was beautiful. It was pretty beautiful.
Footage of that too?
It was 2015. I probably have only one photo or something like that. But I wasn't documenting pretty much. I got into that because a friend of mine, which was a tattooer back then, and I wasn't tattooing yet, we were very friends, and we were doing some performances together of body art. He was into suspensions, so he got me into suspensions.
Wow.
And then also though, even before doing suspensions, I remember when I did the final exam for my art degree, I brought body modifications as the and I connected, because it was of course something which was like out of what you studied at school. So I connected the Dadaism in the art, like contemporary art, with a connection to the body art. It was like something like super crazy, but I had so much fun doing that and finding all the connections and stuff. Because like that in the Second World War, they were like some artists will have private performances in Zurich, which was neutral to the war, and they will have private performances in which someone was reading a poem with blank pages, or a band was playing instruments, but they had no instruments.
What?
And I found that for me, it was the very first form of body art, because they were using their bodies to send messages.
Interesting.
So then I started studying a lot of the artists, mostly performers, which were around the 60s, then leading to the more like body modification type of body art.
That's crazy.
So it was pretty fun. And then I got into body suspensions.
Was it painful?
Not as much as you can expect.
It just looks painful, probably. Yeah.
The one that I did was pretty painful, but I think it was because I couldn't release the emotional baggage back then, because I organized the suspension and it was in my studio. So I was organizing the event, hosting everybody. I just opened the studio back then. It was in Berlin. So it was also a lot of stress, and I got suspended pretty painful, like from my ribs area.
Fuck.
And that was pretty painful. But I realized that normally in the suspensions, you put the hooks and it's not crazy painful. It is like kind of like a piercing. It's not like crazy painful.
Are you bleeding when you do it?
When you go down, because like you stretch the skin. But So you have the hooks, and that I don't find it crazy painful. Of course, like it is a
high
little
tolerance of pain. Yeah.
The most painful moment it's when you're lifting from the floor, you know. So let's say you're hanging from your back and like
all your body weight goes.
Exactly. So when you like the very first minute in which you're lifting is the most painful, but then when you overcome that, it gets super easy. Your body produces a lot of endorphins and adrenaline.
That's right, adrenaline too.
And you completely lose track of time. I did some suspensions in which I thought I was suspended for 5 minutes and I was there like 30.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow. You probably just like zone out when you're up there too.
Completely zone out. Like you're in this like deep meditative state.
Wow. When's the last time you did that?
I think that was the painful one for me. So it was 2021 maybe.
Okay, wow. That's yeah.
And then after the circus, I did hair hanging. And I was so scared.
How do you hang from your head? Like, how does it work?
There's a very specific way to braid your hair. And it's like, it's an antique Chinese discipline.
Okay.
From like very old school circus. So also in that industry, no one wants to teach you how to braid the hair. They're also jealous, blah, blah. But my sister works in a like traditional like family circus in Italy, and they're all so good, like sharing, like, and happy to share. So she learned how to do it. So she braided my hair and taught me how to do it. And then I got suspended. But I was scared in the beginning because I was like, oh, man, I think it's going to be way more painful than body suspensions.
Yeah.
And it was kind of easy. But aside, like I have a high pain tolerance and I was very focused and I
just by your hair, that's it?
Just by the hair. And, you know, you don't go rough like that. I kind of like warm up my neck, my shoulders and my scalp before. So I put some like tension slowly for about 10 minutes before releasing completely and hanging.
Jesus, man. It's fucking crazy.
I can't wait to do it again. I'm going to do it again when I go to Italy in 2 weeks.
You do it again? Okay.
Yeah. So
I need to see a picture of this, man.
Yeah, I'll show you. I have some videos of my hair hanging.
Oh my goodness.
And my sister is an aerialist, so she does, and a pole dancer. So she does pole dance, hoop, like silks, straps. She does like all the aerial discipline.
Yeah. So that's a profession.
Yeah.
You said she kind of tattoos as well?
She's very tattooed,
She tattooed you, but she tattooed you or something?
Yes, she tattooed my hand, like my fingers here, hand poke. It was so painful. So this is stick and poke.
Oh, wow.
All these lines. And then together with the black on my leg, it was in 2017. And I really wanted to cover something I had on my leg. I was like, all right, come here. I teach you how to tattoo. And I set a tattoo machine for her with a big magnum. And then we tattooed together and she did so good.
Wow. Are you the only two in the family that are tattooed and vegan?
Vegan, yes, but I did tattooed. I tattooed all my siblings.
Really?
I tattooed my brother's back. And then...
Did they have a lot of tattoos?
No, not really.
Okay.
So I tattooed my older sister, like a little one here on the arm, and then on the back, and then my other sister as well, 2 tattoos.
Amazing. So crazy.
And now they're all upset because they're all in Italy and I'm here and I never tattoo them and they want to get tattooed so badly.
So when you go to visit, you're going to tattoo them?
Not this time because it's going to be just such a short time. And I always tell them like, you should come to visit me and then I tattoo you. But if I'm going to Italy for 1 week in which I'm going to be crazy jet lagged, I'm not. I want to spend time with you. I don't want to tattoo.
Jet lag tattooing is brutal, yeah.
But I tattooed my little brother a year ago at the Florence Tattoo Convention. So I flew to Florence and got tattooed. Because it was like, I have no choice otherwise to get tattooed.
How old is he?
20. Oh my God.
He's young.
26, 27.
Okay, so you're tattooing. Wow, man. Crazy. What a crazy life. I love it, like the vegan tattooed circus sisters. It's so cool. Just your journey, like coming here and just freaking focus and killing it and doing all the stuff on your own, you know? It's amazing.
Thank you.
Staying in your lane and stuff and just like getting your shit done, you know?
Yeah, I think I've been always, like very in the moment. And I'm like, when I have an idea, I have to realize it right away. And I've been, probably also because I've been traveling a lot by myself. And I always wanted to do like something which was so unconventional for my family, or my friends. I knew I had to do it by myself. And because like also like if you wait for someone to, to follow you, you most likely stay waiting for years and then you lose the train. Yeah.
How long did it take you to get your name out there and people to know who you were in the tattoo world and the style that you do? Like, did it take a long time to get where you're at now as far as in the tattoo world?
I mean, I've been tattooing for almost 14 And I always feel like I have a lot to learn,
Yeah.
But I was lucky enough that when I started tattooing, my name was already known because of painting and exhibitions.
Cool. Awesome.
So I had clients immediately and had the possibility to practice a lot with all my mistakes, Like I will probably have to cover so many tattoos. But
do you remember your first one you did on somebody?
It was a friend of mine, was a tattoo artist
cool.
as well. Yeah, and I did the logo of his studio.
Does he still have it?
I think so.
That's
I
cool.
hope so.
That's cool.
It was. I did immediately all the tattoo conventions I could do.
That's cool. You hustled.
Yeah, and I was bringing the pre-season contest, and I was working hard. I don't like to say that I was lucky, but I was winning all the tattoo conventions I was doing in the beginning.
That's
so I would
incredible.
get first prizes ornamental, and I would get interviews on magazines. So I think it was kind of fast, and I was traveling a lot. I was doing a bunch of guest spots. So I would go and tattoo in other studios in order to have the possibility to tattoo more people and get known by people in other countries.
It's amazing. What was your last job you had where it was like a regular job? You had a boss.
I never did a regular job.
What?
I never had a regular job. So
what's so funny? Maybe in the past 10 guests I've had, probably 7 of them never had jobs either. From the beginning, they got out of school, they fucking just did it, man. It's crazy.
I told you, since I was very, very young.
Wow.
Since I was very young, I said to myself, I promised to myself, doesn't matter what will be, but I will believe in doing something creative.
Really believed in yourself.
Totally, 100%. I was I'm not gonna sit into an office.
So you never had a real job.
No, so
That's amazing.
When I was 17 and 18, I was still at the art school, and I was always hanging out in this club in which they were doing the punk concerts. I was always there, and I made friends with the owners, which were also working there because it was this little club, and I was always closing the club with them, just staying there and have a drink with them, or playing darts or something, and hanging out with the bands. So then once I was Luca was his name, one of the owners. I was like, Luca, I'm always here with you, helping you and closing the bar with you. Just at least pay me.
And so that was it.
So then I got this little job there. In the weekend, I was going there and I will work at the bar, which was just spilling beer. That's
getting paid to hang out, kind of. Yeah,
exactly. So I was making $30 a day, a night.
That's the last job you had.
Yeah. So it was the only ordinary job.
That's amazing. Are you an optimist or pessimist?
I would say an optimist.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
Dude. You're so positive. You have really good energy, positive energy. Yeah.
Thank you. I like to I think I believed so much in myself, and I see the results.
Totally.
And I always try also to make my friends and the people around me to believe in themselves and pursue their dreams.
Yeah. So you've always been like that.
Yeah, always.
Do you have any regrets in your life?
No.
I can say that too. Yeah, it's just how we live and stuff you live through and experiences, right?
Totally. I feel when you live doing what you love, it's very difficult to regret whatever step. Also, little fails or difficult moments. It's kind of all a learning process, and at least we're still doing it.
Totally. You feel like you're in a good place in your life right now?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. You love where you're living, you love your job, all that stuff.
I do. And I definitely had the past few years were very difficult with my businesses because I was all by myself and moving from country to country, and I found I found my bank account on zero many times because I always invest all my money in my projects, so I did have difficult times.
You invest in yourself.
Exactly. And I was like, why should I have a full and a loaded bank account and then not do all my projects, So I like to invest my money like that. But I definitely sometimes had some so much stress and burnout. Especially working with people, sometimes it's exhausting.
You seem like super independent, just want to work by yourself, get your shit done.
Totally. And I'm fast, so sometimes it's kind of difficult to adapt to other people working,
Yeah.
But I'm very happy. I had moments in which, in these past few years, in which I was like, man, if I will be just only tattooing, life would be so easy. But then, I wouldn't be happy because I like to have my hands.
That's what I'm saying. It feels like you can't sit still. You want to do a bunch of things. You have so much shit in your brain that you're trying to get a lot of shit done.
Yeah, I like to say that I have missions.
Missions. Do you is it hard for you to shut off and go to sleep at night?
Sometimes. I would say that I'm sleeping pretty good though lately.
Are you a night person?
No, I'm a morning person.
Okay.
You?
Kind of. What time you go to bed usually?
It depends. It can be between Sometimes it can be 10, sometimes it can be midnight, sometimes 1.
But you always wake up the same time?
Pretty early. My cat wake me up at like 6 in the morning.
Fuck. And so what's the first thing you do in the morning? Like what's like a daily ritual for you besides coffee?
I mean, I feed my cats even before my coffee. They're like so food driven. And then I normally don't use my phone in the morning. I like to set.
I love it.
I like to set my energy for the day. So I normally, when I wake up, I don't touch my phone for like an hour. If I can, even like 2. So
you're grounding, you're getting sunlight.
Yeah. So I normally like get my coffee and I journal.
Sick. You go outside in the sun too?
I listen to music. I also like to wake up very early because of that. I like to have like so much time for myself in the morning, before getting into like a crazy and fast life rhythm.
Yeah.
It wasn't always like this. I learned in the process because especially when I moved here in the beginning, I was working with Europe. All my work was in Europe. I had the tattoo studio in Europe. My team, few people working with me for my projects were in Europe. So I will always have my phone early morning, and sometimes I had meetings at 3 in the morning LA time because in Berlin was morning or afternoon. So it was crazy. And then I realized that waking up, not even understanding who I am, and get my phone and reading shit tons of messages mostly with work stuff would just give me so much anxiety.
Yeah that's so true. I try to wake up, go on the porch, drink my greens, look in the sun, all that fucking... You know who Andrew Huberman is?
What?
Andrew Huberman?
No.
Huberman Lab, it's a huge podcast. He's a scientist.
I probably saw
tatted up and shit.
I had some episodes, yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's my dude. He gets me... He's my go-to doctor to ask questions about everything.
I got into this thing of first thing in the morning, go and look at the sunlight when I was in Bali.
Yeah.
Because I think a friend of mine was probably, because it was from a podcast, and a friend
it's
of mine was
from him. It's definitely from Huberman.
Perfect, yeah.
For
then
sure.
It's that. Anyways, you should look at the sun,
first thing.
direct sun, first thing in the morning, and it is for a few, some minutes, every day.
It's so good. And then look at the phone later and fucking...
Totally.
Damn.
But yeah, because otherwise, if I'm not strong and grounded in my energy, whatever other energy or other people can influence my, me for the rest of the day. And to be all right, I want to decide which energy I'm going to have today. I don't want other people to influence that.
Yeah. I know you're very independent. You have your cats. Could you ever see yourself being married or have kids and stuff like that? Is that something?
If I meet the right person.
Yeah.
I think if I meet the right person, probably yes. Has been very difficult though.
Okay. With relationships, you travel a lot too, though, too.
Totally.
Are you a hopeless romantic?
Do
you believe in? Do you look like that kind of stuff? Think about that stuff, relationships, and.
I mean, it's crazy. I don't know.
You seem you're so focused on your shit. Though,
I'm so focused on my.
I got no time for that shit.
My creativity is my relationship, but I would love to find then a partner which is complementing all this.
Totally
hasn't been easy. First of all, because of traveling, and then because I've been so focused on my projects that when I'm so busy, I'm not able to dedicate the right energy to a partner, and that will be so selfish,
Respect that, man. Yeah, you're in your lane, you're this fucking coffee, your cats, your companies, your tattooing. No, for real, I love that.
But I do definitely hope at some point to, find someone. It's not an intention that I have right now or something that I'm missing.
Still young, girl. Still young. What about sobriety and stuff? Are you a sober person or?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't do drugs. I don't drink. Really? I could have eventually when I go to Italy, I can have a glass of wine with my sister, but I don't drink.
You've always been like that?
Yeah.
Even as a kid, you weren't partying?
No, I was partying more when I was a teenager, definitely. And in my early 20s, I was partying a lot.
Yeah.
And then I got focused.
Yeah.
And then I realized that if I wanted, I also because of that. So when I was 23, right before I started tattooing, I was actually partying a lot. And then when I started to tattoo, I realized I didn't want to have any distractions. So I moved from the city to a little village in which I didn't know anybody other than the tattoo studio.
Damn.
And then I stayed for 1 year there. So I was just focused on tattooing and setting the basis of my career, learning techniques and everything. Because I knew that if I was staying in the city, I was probably getting distracted or tempted or whatever. Yeah. So I just decided to leave.
What do you think that strength comes from? Your focus and your drive? Is your family? Is your parents? Just to be focused like that and having no distraction, just wanting something and focus. I mean, you know what PMA is, positive mental attitude. So like whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, that's what you do. Like you make shit happen like that. Like what do you think that comes from?
I guess a lot of my like driving force for my artistic career came because my mom is an art, like she was a painter, she's an artist. She will paint all over like whatever surface, like glass, clothes. She will turn everything super artistic.
Yeah.
But she never made it to be financially independent. So I feel like she never really believed in herself like deeply till the end. And then she is also like, after my parents split, she's still depending from my dad. So my dad, was always like passing her money.
Is your mom still here?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
They I mean, she's like over 70.
Okay. My mom
but
too.
she stopped making art. I mean, I feel like time to time she will do it, but she found a lot of kind of like excuses in life then. And I feel because of that, because I saw her very talented, like very, very talented, but not believing in it fully.
And not really going for it full like you.
Yeah, then I was like she could have make it, and then I grew up thinking, I have to believe it, like talent, being talented.
Also, she has 5 kids too.
Yes.
So she probably dedicated a lot of her time to her family and put that to the side.
Probably.
Obviously. And then I see you're single, you're solo with your cats, you're on a mission to make it happen, no distractions. It's awesome, man. It's
totally.
Fucking, yeah.
Then and because of that, I think I found, the strength to like keep going and truly believe in myself and do it. I was like, because I think it was my very first kind of mission. I was like, I'm gonna show them and show the world that, because that was like Sardinia was a little bubble, and I was like, I'm gonna show them it's possible to make it as artists and to be like financially independent and like to live your dream. Because also, coming from a little island, people think like, oh, you're born in a little island, you stay in the little island. I was like, no, I'm gonna make it.
Do you still have friends that are still there?
Yes.
Wow.
And my family,
they're happy, they're good, their families, they're doing their thing.
Yes.
Yeah. And what about playing bass? When was the last time you played bass?
In Sardinia?
No, last time you played bass.
I was like touch bass. I was like 17.
That's the last time you played?
Yeah.
Would you ever play again?
But yeah, I thought about a bunch of times about making music again. I was actually, when I was in Berlin, I was making a little bit of music with a friend of mine. She's nice. A DJ and producer, and we were creating, like composing some electronic music with some like tribal influences.
That's cool.
I really love that music.
Do you sing too?
Huh?
You sing too?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I wish. But it was also another thing that I thought whenever I have the possibility to stay a little, more settled in a place.
Yeah, get a bass.
Also start making music again. Because, I mean, I love music. It's like a very important part also of my process. I create the, the vibe with my clients and for my whole work day, creating sets,
Yeah. What kind of music do you listen to? Are you listening to current music, pop music, punk music? Do you look for new music? Like, do you listen to like, I don't know, fucking music that's on the radio? Like, what are you listening to?
I mean, I always look for new music, and it depends. I still listen to punk music.
Nice.
And
GBH.
For example, when I'm at home or in the car, but mostly when I'm working, I like more electronic music.
Okay.
So I get into like down tempo music and like, like long DJ sets. I have a lot of artists that I like that create these kind of like tribal influenced electronic music.
Okay. What about hip hop and stuff like that?
Not really.
Nice. No hip hop. What about like
not pop?
What about Taylor Swift or Billie Eilish or popular music stuff like
not
that?
Really.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I do like something. I like some songs from Billie Eilish, but it's not the kind of music
Vegan
that I know.
too. Yeah.
Exactly. So I actually love like how like active she is.
It's incredible.
So I really love her as a character. I do not listen to that music on a daily basis though.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a good person. I'm friends with her and her family. She has everything called Support and Feed, where they give back plant-based foods to communities and stuff.
Nice.
And yeah, really using Phineas and Billy's platform for the animals and the planet. It's incredible.
I love
man.
that. I love
incredible,
when people use their visibility and like through art and through what they do for the animals and the planet, like to send strong messages.
So is there any type of music that you listen to that the listeners be surprised? You probably not really though. I don't think
so. Maybe punk. You know, when I say that,
punk was cool.
When I said that I listen to punk music, some people are like...
When you said GBH and Exploded, I was like, fuck. And The Clash and Ramones, like, because that's the real shit.
I was listening to Ramones when I was on my way here.
To the Ramones?
Yeah.
Best, man. One of the greatest. And you have any band tattoos or anything like that? No, nothing.
No.
Nothing. Wow. You have any color tattoos?
No, the white.
That's it. No, just the white in your forehead. Yeah. So all black. Wow, you never got color. Damn, crazy.
I did. I had color, but it's covered. Like the second tattoo I had, second tattoo ever I had was a colorful cat coming out of a box.
That's right. Yeah, that's cool.
Just that, and then I never got anything else.
And all you have room left is your bottom of your feet. Just your feet. Me too. The bottom of my feet. Yeah. Fuck, man. I know I got to do it too. I got to do something.
I mean, also I finished all the space and I'm already considering layers on layers. I have some black on black. I have some white on black. So it's like a never-ending process.
Do you only do cover-ups or have you ever done taking like laser treatment, getting stuff off?
No, I never did. I mean, I did some laser. I had my eyebrows tattooed years ago and I did laser that.
Okay. Is that painful?
It was.
Yeah.
But it was fast.
So fast.
So like people are like so afraid of laser, but it's just like so fast. It's like
so fast. I've been getting something lasered right now, and
are you doing it?
It's so fast. It's painful, but it's like rubber bands. It's super.
What are you lasering?
Oh, sure. I had 4 tattoos on top of each other. Look like a big black blob on my arm. Look really bad, dude. So I've been getting that lasered. It's years. It's like obviously it's like 80s, 90s, and 2000 tattoos all on top of each other. So I've been like getting rid of that.
Layer down. 10 years you layer.
And once you start doing it, you start seeing the other tattoos underneath. It's kind of crazy. You do? Yes. It's really crazy. Especially when you have that many. So Sphinx cats, you have 2 cats, right? Mm-hmm. You gonna get any more?
Maybe. Let's say now like...
You like dogs?
I do. I like dogs. I mean, I always had pets in my life, and that was the other downside of traveling.
Oh, yeah.
So I grew up with like having a bunch of pets. I had also like a bunch of turtles at home.
Turtles?
When I was in Sardinia. And I had, with my twin sister at some point, we also had 2 Mexican salamanders. Like they're axolotl.
Mexican salamanders?
Do you know the axolotl? It's that salamander which look like a Pokemon. It's like pink with all the red things. Yeah. So we had 2 of them. They're so cute. They're so crazy because the species was going to extinct because they've been doctors have been studying them for like regrowing parts of the body, because what's particular of those animals is that they stayed in an embryonal phase. They never developed completely. So also one that we had was without one arm, and then in the course of like 2 weeks she grew it back.
Holy shit, you saw it grow back. Wow.
It's so crazy. Yeah, we saw it growing back.
Holy shit.
It was so crazy. So we also had 2 of them. But because I was traveling a lot, I couldn't have any pets. And I was so in love with Sphinx cats for like about 10 years. And then I promised myself whenever I decide I'm feeling grounded and I decide to settle in somewhere, I'm going to get a Sphinx. And then I got 2.
Damn, that's awesome. You sound like you're settling down now. Sick. You are. You're slowing, like you're just, you're in a good place.
Because I think like probably for the very first time in my life, I'm feeling like I belong, kind of, and like I'm enjoying the place in which I am. You know, like I really loved Berlin, but I did not love the German language and the weather. I never learned German, so I learned English in Germany.
You did? Wow. Do you still feel like you have to prove yourself as a woman in this world, in the tattoo world, or no?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, I'm feeling pretty like okay.
And your work speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. Amazing work. Yeah, it's cool.
I think it was also one of my main goals. You know, also for many years when I started tattooing, I never had like published like a photo of me, for example. I will get requests for like do like model cover for like tattoo magazines and stuff like that, and I always said no, because I wanted my work to speak for itself, without being like any influenced by how eventually like I look like. Yeah. And a lot of people actually were thinking I was a man tattoo artist because my name could be a male name.
Oh wow. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Murru. I still get your name Murru. Right. And shout out to Green Table too. They gotta get gluten-free croissants there. We were talking me and you. No, they need to. It's hard to make the listener's not gonna be weird, but a vegan croissant is so hard to fucking make, especially there is the way my son eats them every day. I've had one before, obviously, but like they need to get a gluten-free version for us. You
eat gluten-free because you want to eat gluten-free, or you have like intolerance?
So it's been 3 years since I had gluten. I had stomach issues my whole life. I thought it's because that's how vegans were. You're supposed to have like weird stomachs. I had serious problems. And I did like an 18-day juice cleanse, and I started reintroducing foods to my body, and the gluten shit was just automatic, same stomach ache, same everything. So I stopped doing it. I never went to a doctor. I just kind of did it myself.
I mean, you feel it.
Totally.
I was feeling it too. I did actually like an intolerance test
a
few years ago, because I was suffering. I mean, I was having so many issues, but I was suffering crazy migraines.
Shit.
And then I did a food intolerance test, and I was intolerant to like a few food, not crazy many, but a lot of cereals containing gluten. So then I cut that off.
You said a lot of cereals?
Yeah.
Oh, you love cereal?
No. I was intolerant to like a lot. I wasn't eating much, but I would eat like pasta, for example.
Oh, I thought you said cereals. I'm like...
in Italian, we call them cereals, like the like wheat stuff.
I was like, what kind of cereal? You love cereal that much? I was allergic to all my cereal.
No. But like...
Pasta's called cereal?
Yeah, it's kind of like for example, like rye, barley, wheat. We all call them cereal.
Okay.
Like the family of
How disrespectful is it to cut your pasta with a knife? It's pretty disrespectful, right?
We don't do it.
You're not supposed to cut your pasta, listeners.
But moms do it for kids. Like if they have to give spaghetti to kids, they will cut them. Yeah.
All right, so you're gluten-free?
Mostly, yeah. Because then I found out...
Except for the croissants at Green Table.
Exactly. Like sometimes I will take an exception, but I mostly eat gluten free, because I realized years ago that when I cut with gluten, I'm feeling much better.
Same.
Like it makes me feel like if I will eat gluten, for example, for 2 or 3 days in a row, I will get a headache.
Damn. It just made me bloated and like fucking sluggish and...
Same.
And there's so much processed vegan food. It's so easy to be a junk food vegan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think a lot of people sometimes get into it and they start eating like just all carbs, no vegetables, eating like processed fake shit. And then like, oh, I don't feel good. Veganism sucks. It didn't work for me. It's like, no, you never like, it's just the basics. Tofu, rice, beans, broccoli, fucking, you know, I mean, I think now people think you have to have all fake shit to be vegan.
Mm-hmm. Which was what I was seeing a lot when I was working at the studio in Berlin. They were like freshly vegan, the guys there. And they were only eating processed food.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. And I was like, yeah, first of all, it's not healthy. Then it's like shit tons of plastic, because it's all confectioned in plastic. So that was also one of the reasons why, like, I wasn't eating that. But also on top, like, you know, like I grew up eating Mediterranean food, like cooking at home. So I still like that. Like I taste so much different if I eat something which is coming out of like a can or plastic.
Totally.
You know?
I like hummus. I like falafel. I like beans. I like all that shit.
Yeah.
Quinoa. That's probably Green Table. So fresh. It's like no processed shit there. No refined sugars.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's Italian.
I know. He's the best. Shout out to Led. I think we covered a lot of shit for your life today. Let's think. I got all my notes. I want one of those shirts though. The kiku. What does that mean, kiku? The shirt.
It's chrysanthemum in Japanese.
Okay. It looks like a nice shirt too. You make quality good shit.
Yeah. And I print also, like, also when I print merchandising, I print on organic fabrics.
Of course.
Yeah.
The shirt's cool. Yeah, I want one of the shirts.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you. I almost bought one too the other day. I was like...
It was a disaster. So I was going to bring you the t-shirt. I wasn't sure about the size. And I was going to bake a gluten-free banana bread for you.
You're amazing.
But I finished working so late yesterday.
Thank
and
you.
I was so tired. And
That's
I was
very sweet.
I was like, if I make it when I'm so tired, maybe it's not going to taste good.
No,
so
it's all good.
I'm going to make it that in the weekend. And then I'm going to bring it to you.
Thank you. This has been great, though. I'm so happy you came. Like, I barely met you, and then it's like, oh, she's a tattoo. I looked you up, oh, she's vegan, all this shit. And then, like, obviously we know Kim. Shout out to Kim. Just a small world, you know?
Totally.
It's a very small world in this vegan Illuminati.
I also found out just a few days ago, because I told my assistant, like, I have a new assistant right now, finally. So I have, like, someone helping me. Teddy, and I said to Teddy that I was coming to your podcast, and she's a super fan of you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so she was so excited.
That's awesome. This has been great. I don't have enough women on my podcast. My wife's on me about that, let alone tattoo artists, so it's cool. I'm trying to think who I had besides you that's a woman. Kim Say. Shit, not many, man. I'm getting so much trouble. Who else did I have on here? I know I fucked up. Yeah, because I've had everybody like Tim Hendricks, Juan Puente, fucking Mark Mahoney, fucking... all these male motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. You need more women.
I need more women on the pod, and Italian women. But yeah, thank you so much. I think we covered everything. And so people can get the Minimal Ethic tattoo supply stuff online? You have a website, right? For everything?
Yeah, I have a website, and then
It has everything on it, your clothing and the stuff, or it's two different sites?
It's two different sites, because one is like more like just fashion related, and the other one is the tattoo supply. And lately I'm working on some deals with tattoo distributors, because then they can also sell the products, and people that are like buying tattoo supplies, even just like, inks or other stuff, which are not like specifically like biodegradable, then they can also access my products and buy them from the same website.
Okay, awesome. And your clothing, all that stuff's there.
Yeah, and also because I want to distribute in more like parts of the world also where they have like less possibility to access this kind of products. So we're going to be selling soon in Bali. I will have a distributor in Bali for Asia. Yeah. Also one in Mexico. And then I'm trying to get some also here.
So everything's online mostly?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you ship worldwide?
Yeah.
Okay. It'd be cool to have like a spot here that would carry. Obviously, do you carry at the tattoo shop you work at? Oh, at your new space,
I do have the products there as well. So people eventually can also come, like, meet me at the shop and buy the stuff there. So I have like merchandising and a tattoo supply there.
And then once you get your own thing, you can have everything.
I will have everything there.
Your fucking painting, all your shit can be there.
Yeah, because like, awesome. I always wanted a little bit like I did in Berlin. I don't really like a traditional tattoo studio.
Yeah.
So I want to always like open a creative space in which we have, me and other artists have the possibility to work on our creative projects. They don't have to be tattoo related. As I told you, like in the space I had in Berlin, I had a circus hoop and the silks hanging, so you could practice movement. Some people had instruments and they were playing, and there would be like 2 tattoo sessions, and
a real creative spot.
Exactly.
All kinds of artists.
So I always like to say that like a nice, like a chilled version of the Andy Warhol factory.
That's sick. Are there I know you cook at home a lot. What is some of your favorite stuff to cook? Like what's like you cooking all day, looking breakfast, lunch, dinner? Like
I make an amazing lasagna.
Okay. Gluten-free?
Gluten-free.
I need to try that shit.
Okay, I will make you one.
And then do you eat breakfast in the morning usually or no?
It depends.
Yeah.
Like not all the time. Yeah, also for me, like I have my coffee, and then sometimes, for example, like today I haven't had breakfast. I haven't
ate either today either, yeah.
And
I've had this shit.
So sometimes I could have like a smoothie, like maybe I make a smoothie, or maybe I make like some, I don't know, like a gluten-free bread with peanut butter or, stuff like that.
So your lasagna is like a thing? Okay.
I really love it. And then I make like salad bowls. I like to eat pretty light. I can make like a couscous. I like couscous. It's not gluten-free though.
It's okay. And then besides Green Table, do you have any other favorite restaurants in LA you go to? If you do go out?
I like
fine dining.
I like Pura Vida.
That's where my son works.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shout out to Chef Tara, who started Pura Vida with no investors. She's from fucking East Coast, Brooklyn. She's on my podcast. She has 2 locations all by herself.
Nice.
She's so sick. I love her.
And I really love their food. And it tastes really Italian.
Oh, you're Italian. That's right. Yeah. Fuck. So you give her like all the thumbs up for that? You love it? Okay, yeah. She's Italian too, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I met her once because she's a friend of a friend. And then he told her and she came out and met me. Yeah,
my son loves working there. It's a great spot, great food, nice dating spot, nice fine dining, fucking...
Yeah, the spot is pretty cool. I really love it.
What about Crossroads? You used to go there?
I like it.
Yeah.
I really like it. Once I was disappointed by a pasta because the sauce was very, very liquid. I was like, because like I think they didn't strain the pasta properly, or it was just, I mean, it was the only thing. But I really love their food. But the last time I went there, I was like, man, their pasta.
You have the right to say that. What about Real Food Daily?
Oh, I like it.
I like it too.
So I've never been in the location. I only ordered sometimes delivery to the studio.
What about Gratitude?
Oh, I love Gratitude. I really love it. Like that's a place where it's a must. I always bring, when someone is coming to visit me, I always bring them to Gratitude.
This is healthy stuff. What about, do you remember M Cafe?
No.
It closed down during the pandemic, but you can order it on Postmates only. It's so incredible. Incredible, like sandwiches. Yeah, it's so good. Gluten-free sandwiches. And I like to go to the East Side too. You ever Kitchen Mouse?
No.
It's my friend's spots on the East Side.
It's
really fucking good.
You know also what I like, because before last year I was living in downtown and it was Wild Living Foods. Okay,
it's still there now.
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
So sometimes I ate there also. The food was good.
Downtown's interesting.
Yeah.
It's wild down there. There was a Gratitude down there too. I think it's gone now in downtown.
It was in our district, yeah.
It's gone.
I don't know
now.
if it's gone.
Yeah.
Probably yes, because once I always go in the one in Santa Monica, and then I was gonna go there, and then it gave me as address like one like out here.
Yeah.
Damn. Was Sage vegan before?
Yes.
He used to be vegan. So
it went crazy. You saw that?
So I was in Silver Lake, like in Echo Park, a couple of weeks ago because I went to the flea market, and then I was gonna go to Sage, And I saw advertised that they were like having like grass
It was
feed.
a crazy thing online. Did you see that a couple months ago? You're not really on social media, but the owner did a post why she was serving meat, and people flipped. Like people that I've never seen post in my life go, it was crazy shit ever, man.
It was, but I can totally understand because I was gonna go there, and then I saw they were serving meat, and I was actually the day I only wanted to get a coffee and keep walking to the market, and then I didn't go.
Yeah. And the reason why the person said that was because of the environment, all this crazy shit. But like, instead of just saying, hey, my restaurant is suffering, maybe if I serve meat, I'll get more clients because it's not doing well. But it wasn't like that. And so people that knew about that type of stuff were challenging the owner to like a debate, like different people, like the director from Seaspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
It was really interesting, man. That was
But yeah, that's scary. I mean, also, I always feel like definitely if they're not being honest about the reasons of their choice. Exactly, just be honest. And it's kind of like, you're doing already something which I don't really like, and you're also lying about it, means that
to consumers.
Means that you're also not like really happy about what you did,
in the first place.
Like you know that it's wrong. So
Yeah.
you know that it's wrong, so you're lying, which is even more wrong.
It's too many lies. I fucking hate lies.
Me too.
Well, thank you for being here. I wish I had room to get a tattoo by you somewhere in my freaking body.
Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I can do the white in your face.
You could do that. Yeah, that'd be sick. My wife's going to kill me. Maybe my feet. I don't know. But this is awesome. I appreciate you coming on the podcast and meeting you. I feel like we're going to be friends now. We're going to go to Green Table someday.
Yes, let's do
We're going
it.
to plunge sauna someday. I'm going to try yoga one day.
You should. I'm going to get you into yoga.
I need to. Yeah, no Bikram for me. No hot yoga.
No, not for me. For me either. And no mushrooms.
And yeah, we're so united on mushrooms. We have so much of the same energy. It's so fucking crazy, man. Awesome. This is great. 2 hours. This is fucking amazing. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to all the listeners. And yeah, you can go to the website. What's the website?
The Minimaletic.
Yeah.
So I have minimaletic.com and minimaletictattoo.com.
Okay. And then just your Instagram, which she's not going to check your DMs. She's barely on Instagram. I fucking love it. She posts and she keeps it moving, does her thing. Bailey looks at her phone. It's fucking amazing. I respect that so much. Phones are so evil. Bye, everybody. Peace. Let's get this check. Can you hear yourself?
Yes.
Okay, we're back in the podcast. Diamante just brought me some amazing gluten-free, sugar-free banana bread, which is so good. Thank you.
I love it.
For breakfast. And some merchandise, thank you. And we're going to plunge sauna soon. But it always happens a lot when I'm hanging out with somebody after a podcast. They'll end up telling me some crazy shit that we never talked about on the podcast. And she has a crazy story that I'm going to have her share with you right now that she's never shared before on a podcast, which is, for the listeners, if you grew up in Los Angeles and know the different places where not to go, you really appreciate this. And also for people who are just moving to California or moving from another country, you should definitely look into the neighborhoods in California. Okay.
I will totally put the announcement, dangerous acts, don't try it.
Yeah, don't try this shit at home. Don't do what she did. You can't, if you're a badass like she is, which I realized after the podcast, that she don't give a fuck. And if you do something to her, she's going to fucking respond. Okay, so let's hear the story.
Okay, I was just moved here. I would say like a few months, and I was having dinner with a friend. So I was just out of the studio, so he picked me up from there. It's an important detail because I had with me my bag with all my work stuff, like my iPad, and I did have, which you should never have in your bag. I had my passport with my visa and some other documents because that morning I had an appointment at the DMV for my driver license. So I had all my stuff, and because it was a heavy bag, I decided to leave it in his car under the seat, and I only took with me my wallet and my phone. So
under the seat, smart, but yeah.
Yeah, but still in the car. Now, I have never ever left anything in the car. Anyway, we went out for dinner, and then when we went back to the car, someone broke in, the windows were broken, and my bag with all my stuff wasn't there anymore, and not even his bag. He's a movie director, and he was working on his movie, and he had camera equipment, the hard drive with the movie.
Damn.
So we drove around for a while. At that point it was night. It was like 1 a.m. We drove around for a while to try to find our stuff and see if eventually people were breaking in other cars. Nothing. So then I went back home that night. And I was able to track my iPad from the phone, and it showed in this.
It's like Find My Phone app or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it showed in this area I obviously didn't know at 4 a.m, which was Watts.
It was Watts, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I had no clue. So then I decided, luckily, not to drive there in the night, but
Smart.
I decided to go there in the morning. And I was like, okay, fuck it. If my iPad is showing there, they probably have my bag with my passport.
Most importantly, yeah.
Exactly. So like, I didn't really care about all the other stuff. I care about my passport and my visa because they do not do duplicates of the visa. I will have to go back to Europe, do a whole new visa process. So I will have to have first a duplicate of my passport here in the States in order to be able to leave and then wait for the visa to come back to the States. Otherwise, I couldn't come back. So I really wanted my passport back. I was like, I don't even care about the iPad. It was a brand new iPad, so I only had like a few drawings in there. So also my bag was new. It was like a cool vegan brand, which I love. So anyway, so I visualized all the things I wanted to get back, and I was like, I'm gonna back all my stuff. I'm gonna get back all my stuff. I was like so sure.
Determined.
I never hesitate. So I was like,
and you weren't scared of nothing, right? Or like meeting the person or nothing.
No, I was like, so the morning after, I drove to Watts with my friends, which later on I also thought, I mean, he's been living in LA for a while, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's not a scary dude, so.
That's interesting, yeah.
But also, like, one of my superpowers is I'm able to convince people to do stupid stuff. Okay. So we drove to
he was
Watts.
in a trance, okay.
So we drove to Watts, and we went to the house in which my iPad was showing, and I knocked the door. So this woman, I think she was around his 40, with a 6-year-old kid, she opened the door and she had no clue what I was asking for. And I was like, look, my iPad is showing here, so you, like, probably someone, like, from here have my bag. She genuinely had no clue. And then she called someone, and a guy, I think he was like in his 20s, he came basically from the back, and he was scared as fuck.
He was what?
He was scared.
Oh, he was scared. Okay, okay.
I was shocked,
Was there a kid maybe?
No, I think it was someone renting eventually some place in the backyard of this woman, And she was so mad, she started yelling at him in Spanish. So it was like he went to the back and he brought me a laptop. And I was like, thank you so much, but this is not what I'm looking for. This is someone else's laptop.
Damn. This is like a PC Mac or something. Yeah, that's not it.
So anyway, and it was just
you gave it back to him? Like, sorry, that's not it?
Yeah, and so I had it in the car because then I was like, maybe like I can trade it with mine or something like that, because then in the meantime he was disappearing and he would say that he had to contact someone else. They don't have the stuff anymore, so probably they were stealing from cars. And then he explained to me that then in the night they just like spread things like between other people and just try to like sell them. Damn, probably that in the night,
Crazy.
So he sent me to a pawn shop, and then which was not existing. Like he sent me to like random addresses, and I was driving there, and then I realized
there's nothing there.
Nothing there, and it was like, and I realized he's making me like he's buying time, And then I drove back in front of this place, and I was like, I'm not moving from here till I get my stuff. I'm just gonna stay here the whole time.
Fuck.
So before driving to Watts, though, I sent my location to my friend Kimberly because I was like, hey, I don't know where I'm driving, so I sent you my location. And when she saw I was there, she was like, Diamante, what the fuck are you doing there? And then I was like, I showed her, and she was like, no, even the police will go there if I will call them.
It's so true. That's great.
So then she was so worried that
of course
she will write me every 10 minutes.
Checking in.
Is everything okay? And I was like, yes, still alive. And if I wasn't answering, she was like calling immediately and texting again every 10 minutes.
That's a good friend.
So I ended up staying there for 5 hours.
Dude, just waiting out there with your friend.
With my friend waiting there, dealing with these guys. And I had probably like 20 different phone calls.
Jeez. Was he coming and going, and like was he like super stressed out?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, and then like sometimes there would be like cars driving slow there. It was getting so weird. The situation was getting weird. Then I realized that it was getting pretty weird. And then for the last trade, at that point I had, in between like a bunch of other things, at that point I had 2 laptops, not mine.
2 laptops, not yours. Okay.
So I ended up then going to meet them again at a gas station, and that was sketchy because they wanted to meet me at a gas station. It was raining. It was 5 p.m. already in February, so it was kind of dark.
Dude.
And they said we had to do this trade with something which hopefully at that point was going to be my iPad, and I was giving the laptop back, and they said I had to pick from the gas station, from the toilets of the gas station, this pink backpack and put the stuff there.
You had to go into the bathroom of the gas station.
It was something that was so sketchy.
And go into a pink backpack in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That's so sketchy, man.
So weird. I was like, okay, I'm going to get a shot today.
Did you have to swap something in the bag? They put the computers in there or something? Or?
Yeah. So then
what the fuck?
Yeah. So they throw on me another backpack, which then at that point had my iPad in.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, maybe they're throwing a bomb or something. I don't know. At that point, I started to get scared after like 5 hours. But then I got my iPad back. And then...
so you got the iPad back at the gas station? You got it back?
Yes.
Okay. So that's one thing.
That was one thing. And I was like, all right, I got my iPad back, but I wanted my other things. So then...
The visa and the passport is so important.
Yeah. So then the day after, someone wrote me via email and on Instagram and was like, hey, I hope this is like you, like the person I'm looking for. It was because like I have like such a specific name.
Totally.
What's my surname?
Diamante Murru. Diamante Murru.
I wanted to see if you practiced.
I didn't practice, man. Murru. I'll get it. I'm gonna add it to this podcast. Keep going. Go.
Okay, so the day after, a girl wrote me, and then she said that she found some documents, and then I hoped it was my passport. So I went to meet her in Silver Lake. I got robbed in Silver Lake, so I went to meet her in Silver Lake, and she said that she found these like a bunch of papers in front of the door of her apartment in Silver Lake.
Crazy.
And those papers were my social security number.
Dude.
Which you should never have in the bag.
No, it's your whole life's in your bag.
Yeah, and then
it's crazy having Silver Lake ended up in Watts. It's crazy.
Yeah, totally. And then
so you got your social security.
I got my social security. I asked her if she found anything else, and she was like, no, only like a bunch of lipsticks. And then which she probably took because she didn't give them back anyways. And then I was like, damn, my passport. And, all my friends, at that point it was weekend because she contacted me on Sunday.
Yeah.
And then on Monday I went to work and everybody was like, you got to file a police report because they steal passports for like stealing identity, exactly all the information and everything. And I was like, yeah, but then when I will find it, it will be useless because then, if I file a police report, the passport is cancelled. So anyway, I have to leave and do my visa. And they were like, you're not going to find it. It's LA. You're not finding your stuff, in LA. And I was like, damn. And I was like, okay, I tried to file the police report. And then I was trying and the website would not work, was always crashing. And I thought, it's a sign I'm not supposed to file the police report. So then I went to the movie premiere in the night. So then I went back home super late. It was like almost midnight, and at the door of my apartment, I was living in downtown back then. There was this paper towel with a message written in Spanish saying, "Hi, my name is Angel. I have some documents in the bag of Diamante. Please contact me at this number." Dude. So I called, and it was like, "Yeah, I found your bag on my way out from work in Hollywood."
Dude.
And then I was like, is that my passport in the bag? So I went asking him to open my bag. And then he was like, yeah, I think so. And then I was like, can I come to pick it up right now? So I drove to Hollywood from downtown. I met this 50 years old Mexican man dressed super punk.
That's awesome.
It was so cute. And then he gave me my bag. And I gave him some money. I gave him $300 because I was so freaking happy.
What a good person that guy is, man.
Yeah. So, and he didn't even count the money, So then when I went back home, he texted me and he said, he was super grateful. And he said, with those money, I'm going to make my bike like new because I drove my bicycle from Hollywood to downtown to bring you back, but you were not there.
Dude.
Oh, it's so
There's good people
cute.
in the world,
And then I
man.
said the cheesy, line, "Angel, you're really an angel."
Yeah, but he is. That was crazy, man.
Yeah.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah. And the crazy stuff was that I found, I never hesitate for a moment. I'm going to find all my stuff.
Yeah.
So everything I visualized that was into my bag, I found it also in the bag. I visualized I really wanted also my journal, which I luckily write in Italian. So there's way less chance in case something happened like this that they read it. And then, so I write my journal. So I had my journal. I had the passport. Luckily, obviously, I don't have my address in my passport because I have an European passport. So he could find my address only because I had the DMV documents because I had the appointment. So he could find the address. It was so crazy.
He was so smart.
So I found everything. And the only two things I completely forgot I had there, which I didn't visualize that I wanted to find back, I didn't. It was like my sunglasses and some AirPods because I forgot they were in the bag.
You had iPods in there?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then because I forgot they were there, those and the sunglasses, they were the only two things I didn't find.
Damn. That's the one thing they kept probably. Maybe,
yeah, probably.
Maybe. It's crazy. Your bag was in Silver Lake, Hollywood, Watts, like crazy. I would just travel around, man.
And in all this, my friend didn't find any of his stuff. He didn't believe it as strong as I did. I was like, I'm going to find all my shit. And I found
So he found nothing of his.
He found nothing. He lost all his stuff.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But he didn't go hard like you, though, did he?
No.
Damn, he was so determined. It is crazy for Los Angeles to get it back like that. And it's such a big city, but there's good people. So the moral of the story, there's some honest people out here, man.
There are. Like the man, it was so cute. And I was also saying that whenever I want to go, I'm his guest at his pizza place. He owns a pizza place in Hollywood.
So you've been by there?
No, I really want to though.
You should go surprise him.
Yeah, I still have his number.
It's so cool, man.
Yeah.
And also the moral of the story is that you don't give a fuck and you're fearless. And if you put your mind to it, you're going to make something happen. And you did that.
And I didn't die in Watts.
You survived Watts. You ever been back to Watts since?
No, never.
Yeah, I wouldn't go back to it. Yeah. But it's such an amazing story. It's just crazy. Like you're just so focused on it. You know what I mean? And
I set my intentions so strong. I was like, I didn't think that I was gonna survive Watts just because I was protected by the ignorance. So
you weren't scared at all the whole time there?
No,
because maybe adrenaline's going. I don't know.
A little bit probably at the gas station because at that point I was tired and it was sketchy.
Yeah.
Like get a bag at the gas station.
Did you go get the pink bag?
Yes.
No, he's really like yes. people are listening. So you went and grabbed the pink bag and brought it out to them?
Yeah.
And then you had to what?
And then they throw another bag on me.
Then they throw what?
Another bag on me with my iPad.
How far away were they from you? It's such a weird thing.
I don't know how much is it fit.
So you give them the pink bag out of the bathroom.
Yeah, probably maybe they were there was the kitchen.
What was in the pink bag?
The 2 laptops.
Oh, okay.
So I put the 2 laptops and then I had to leave it kind of there close to them and then they throw a blue bag, a blue little backpack, like a
it's like a hostage. It's like a hostage situation.
Totally.
Where it's like somebody stands there, they have your kid hostage. Okay, you give me the money, I'll give this. That's a weird thing. Switch the bags.
I think they probably thought this girl is insane. Let's just give her back the iPad.
Were they high? Were they on drugs and stuff like that? Or
I have no idea.
Because it could be super paranoid or something. I don't know. It's just so weird.
Maybe they were. And
it's like, who put the pink bag in the bathroom and why a pink backpack? It's so crazy, man.
It was like a kid's backpack, like a small
oh my God.
Kids.
And it was empty?
It was empty.
I wonder how they knew it was there or why would they put it. Maybe there was something in there and then somebody went to the bathroom and took it out, left it empty. Then you were supposed to go get it, bring it out. There's some weird shit,
I don't know. I think they went before me, and they were like, meet us there at that specific gas station at 5. And then you'll find a pink bag in front of the toilets. It was such a movie.
This is like a movie, dude. Holy shit.
So then I started to get scared because I was like, what if there's something like an explosive type of shit in the bag and then I go there and explode,
Was your friend with you at the gas station?
Yes, he was there.
Was he freaking out? He had to be freaking out, man.
He was.
He probably kept it cool in front of you?
Yeah.
I think be the dude and make sure she's okay, but he's probably like, dude.
Yeah, he didn't want to keep doing all this for like the 5 hours. You know, it was like,
He
yeah, we
did.
should. He didn't want. It was like, yeah, we should leave it. Like these people are, you know, can be dangerous, and they obviously don't have that stuff. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get it. They have it. I feel it. They have it.
And he's from California.
He's from the States. I'm
But
not
he
sure.
he started knowing, sensing like, oh, this is getting kind of sketchy.
Yeah, he's been living here for a while.
We're talking. We are done now, but come on in here, weirdo.
Hi,
Eat
Max.
the banana bread. Good morning, Max. Yeah, Max, the sauna's on right now.
You're already done?
Yeah, she just told a crazy freaking story, man. I wish there was like a name of the story we could call. I'm thinking of like a cool title for this story, but it's like,
Here,
I'm
5
talking.
minutes.
Because we already did a podcast. We added some 5 minutes to it. Stop interrupting the.
Are you already done soccer playing?
No, about to do it right now.
Oh.
You are interrupting my podcast. Okay, thank you for your story. The story's crazy. We have to do some sort of, I don't know, like a Watts Tower. You know the Watts Towers?
No.
Oh my God, it'd be such a cool tattoo, man. Diamante and Watts. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
I'm happy you enjoyed
I
it.
feel like I have an exclusive story that's never been told on the podcast.
They never.
It's amazing. You're a legend. The legend of Diamante and Watts. And thank you for the banana bread. Max, you have to come try this banana bread. It's amazing. Okay, we're going to plunge on it now. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much, didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance podcast is now with Removery. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done. 100 locations. US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art pico-wave laser technology. Cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Definitely check out One Life One Chance podcast, episode 281. I have Carmen Brody, Mike McTurnan, and Dustin Ortle from Removery. And this is an over 2-hour conversation. People had submitted questions. It's an incredible conversation breaking down the do's, the don'ts, the fears, process, the results, everything you could imagine about getting a tattoo removed. It's all in this podcast. It's an incredible episode. I appreciate them all coming out for it. So check that out if you want to learn more about Removery and what it's like to get a tattoo removed. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.